my role right now is the voice of Lightning, because like
Lightning.
we have a lot of teachers that are really good at teaching, but they're not into the networking aspect of it. So that's where I go to the FMA gatherings and introduce myself,
You go to the Junior
and
Paul
just
show with
contribute to the
JV.
community. And saka ano na I mean, umalis na rin ako sa mga forums kasi I see, look, there's different ways to market your system than like the forums na, it turns into the discussions turns into trash sometimes, so na nadismaya ako doon. So that's why I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go to real people. I'm gonna go to wherever the like East Coast gatherings. This is go there. Old school. I'm old school. I mean, even if I'm old school, iba yung kausap mo eh. Iba yung kainuman mo eh.
Yes.
Iba yung when you connect. Like when I went to California, I met Julius. I met and as much as possible, I went to Brother Darren's workshop. I met so much teachers there. I think Master Alex Garcia was there, if I remember. Marami din. So, alam mo yon.
So Sachi,
Ang naka-network ko tao.
what's your ultimate goal and vision? Ang susunod na kabanata ay handog ng isang dating inapo, supling na pananim ng isang prominente na pamilya ng mga dating politiko sa Capiz. Sangang pananim din siya sa isa sa pinaka-prominente na maestro noong nakaraang mga henerasyon. Baka kilala nyo ang isang lehendaryo na si Mang Ben Lunalema. Siya si Sachi Villareal, photographer, IT, gagawin dati sana na skayon ng pamilya niya dati, at arnisador. Subaybayan at pakinggan ang susunod na kulog at kidlat. Ito ang June and Paul Show. Handog namin kasama si kumparing JV.
Yes, we are recording, and let me go live here. Hold on one second, everybody. Just the usual thing that we kind of go through, and it is going to be live streaming. This meeting is being live streamed, so got it.
Hindi tayo pwede magkamali dito.
All right, there it is. We're live. I need to go into the account and make sure everything is public. Hold on one second as I make it public. Yan, we are public. Hello, everybody.
Hi, and this is June.
JV and Paul is somewhere still on his way to come into the we're all doing our things and our hustle, so Paul is gonna be here with us in a little bit. He's still commuting from his within his half a mile radius from work to home. Malapit lang yun eh. But that actually gives us time for a quick intro and kind of reshare, give it some time for everybody to log on to the live. How is everybody doing? Actually, what?
Dude, Lance is, because the thing is, I know sabik na sabik si Lance. Kamusta, Lance?
Lance, musta na? Musta na? Teka, let me actually. Oh. I got you. I got everybody on my chat here. So, since we're like sophisticated like that. Oh man. So I guess for now, I just kind of want to we'll give a little bit of time for everybody to log on and catch up. But in the meantime, we have a special guest today. You guys have been seeing the post. Is going to be Maestro Sachi of Lightning Alliance. So just a little bit of an intro. He was one that I actually wanted to get on here. I don't think I told you this, Julius, or within the Unleashed crew. But I actually met him just last year at the Taboada Balintawak camp in New York, and you know how it is with us guys. FMA guys. I was like, man, that guy can move pretty good. Like, there's movements there. And then I didn't know, actually, that was the first time I met him. I knew of him, and then couldn't find out that I was like, hey, this guy's pretty much pedigree under the Lightning umbrella. And that was pretty much where I was like, you know what? There's something interesting here to get to know. And of course, we clicked, hit it off, got to hang out doon sa camp. Pero yun nga, when you're in the middle of camp, it's like, hey, you can't just be standby sa tabi.
Tama.
Yeah. But standby sa tabi habang the whole camp goes on. So unfortunately, he only was there for the camp and whatnot. Then end up having to go. Pero that's so yeah. No, I've been wanting to kind of dig into his background, who he is, what he's all about. I saw him again this year at the New York camp again, New York Malintua camp with GM Bobby Taboada. So it was great to see him, but again, kulang sa oras
So here's the thing. I met him too last year, Kapaskuhan. So around the time of the New Year.
Oh.
We ate at a very fancy Chinese place. Ako kailangan pag-ipunan ko yung wala ako masyadong pera. But alam mo yung Tim Ho Wan?
Yeah, no.
Yung sikat na dim sum.
Oh. Then
mga Michelin rated yan. Expensive ang taste niyan si Sachi. You know what I mean? Maano ang palit yan eh. Yeah.
Kaya pala, kailangan ko pala mag-ipon muna ng konti in case wherever we decide to go.
No, but I hung out with him along with my other friend Vaughn, and we hung out na isang gabi. He was visiting his family over here in Southern California, where I'm not that far away from me, probably about like 30-40 minutes away. So I drove down and we had a really good time.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So
nag-training din kami ng sandali lang, like we were exchanging, what we know. And
that was in South Florida. I mean, South Florida, Southern California.
Yeah. He because his Chuhinya here doesn't live that far away where I used to live. When I had a decent living before I got ruined by the pandemic, that city was basically where I lived. But ako dati pinakamahirap na yung pinakamalit na apartment. sa kanila yung pinakamaayos, you know what I'm saying? So but yeah, I had a great time.
Oh man. Well, you know what? We got to figure out a time when we all kind of connect, which by the way, next hopefully if everything kind of works out, I think I'm going to be in California next week. So baka we're definitely connecting, you and I.
Show goes on the road. I'm gonna introduce June to like Freddie Roach.
Yeah. Ooh. We might need to make a stop by there.
Balut. We gotta go to Dollar Eats, in historic Filipino towns. Don't get shot.
Go to wild card. Oh man, actually, the person that I'm going with actually might want to go hit it up too.
Yeah, Dollar Eats.
Well, hold on. Let's see who all. Kumusta? Hello, everybody that's logged on. We're just waiting for a little bit time. Teka lang. Sana napunta si Sat. I gotta let him in.
You gotta let him in now.
No.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's bring on our guest.
Yeah.
Let's bring on our guest. Good old Maestro Sachi. Teka lang. Let me see how.
He's supposed to be the scion of the Villareal clan in Negros, but
we're gonna find out a little bit more. If everybody got questions or anything about that you guys want to pop in, feel free to put it in the comment box. And by the way, definitely on our YouTube channel, still use the help on all the subscriptions and everything. We're getting a lot of great views, and if you haven't seen all our past episodes and whatnot, we've had some pretty good episodes that you guys might want to go check out and stuff from the last ones that we had. So, but definitely, hey. GM,
I meant to say copies.
Watching from the car on the drive home.
I meant to say copies in Negros.
Yeah, yes, that's
copies,
right.
Yeah.
All right, let's welcome on Maestro Sachi over here. Teka lang, hold on, let's go. Let's give it a little bit moment. Drum roll.
Oh, you gotta ask him that question.
Huh?
You gotta break it down. What championships? Remember?
Oh. Yeah.
So Sachi, I gotta put you in the boiler seat right away. First question. Go ahead, take it away, June.
Hey, that was a joking thing. Wait, you're mute. Naka-mute ka.
Take it away, June.
Why you gotta throw me under the bus?
Wait, I didn't even get to say, have you gotta go to the boiler room right directly?
No, we're gonna like throw it out right out of the gate. No, first of all, okay, let's give Sachi an opportunity to say hello to everybody here.
Okay. Well, good evening everyone here in the United States. Sa atin pong mga kapatid sa Pilipinas. Magandang umaga sa mga kauturan naton sa Bisaya. Maayong aga sa tanan. Okay. Take it away.
So
Welcome.
I'm gonna ask you. Okay, so Sachi, how many movies and world championships have you?
So the question was after last one, it's like, hey, how many world championships, Olympic world championships, how many movies did you appear at, and how many political seats were you able to see this?
I was just carrying Mansur's luggage when he was doing all of those.
just to share with everybody, as we were having the interview with Mansour, the last interview, Sachi's in the background messaging us like, what the hell, I'm gonna follow.
I know, I'm like, those are big shoes to follow.
Pero okay lang actually.
I'm just gonna post the link to my side.
Yep, go ahead, and I'm just gonna
and then we will start proper.
Yeah, actually,
so hindi pa tayo live.
No, we're live.
Are we?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, we're
yeah.
live.
So we're already live, and let me just
okay. Talking about lightning. Hold on a second, folks. Give me a second
right.
here.
Kurt, hey, rubber chicken salute from Homer, Alaska. Sachi, what's for dinner daw? Tinagtatanong.
No, the dinner's done. It's time for something to calm the nerves.
Oh, nakalimutan ko yung Jack Daniels. Sabihin ko nga pala Sachi.
I know. I told you I have to get ready.
In FMA circles, like, let's start with that kasi alam na magaling kang cook kasi yun lang ang pinopost mo. Ang post mo online kung hindi arnis, karunungan sa arnis, pagluluto.
Pagluluto. Kasi
what got you started at that? What got you started in that, man?
Oh, I started early. I was already interested in cooking when I was like 9, and you know my grandfather, he was already an administrator of the of schools. So he's a superintendent of schools of the whole Western Visayas. So you know, he had like a big house and a compound, and he has his own personal cook. So yung cook na yon, na every time he comes back from the market, I would stop playing with my friends, like the other kids. I would run to the kitchen and just watch him cook. I would watch him cook for all the techniques, and I try to memorize it and stuff. I was always interested in it.
Time out lang. Ito ba yung lolo mong si Cornelio?
No, this is my direct lolo. Also, this is Noe Villareal. Cornelio Villareal is the first cousin of Noe Villareal. And so Cornelio Villareal is the Speaker of the House of Representatives in the Philippines for a while.
Yeah.
So we're first cousins. So si Lolo, kasi sa probinsya, or I don't know if in the other parts of the Philippines, when they're your grand uncles or whatever, parang paggalang lolo talaga.
They're your lolos still, yeah.
They're lolos by blood. They're
Yeah.
not. My direct lolo is Superintendent Noe Villareal. Is the first cousin of Agurang Cone, Speaker Cornelio Villareal, and also Grandmaster Ben Lema, another lolo of mine, is also a cousin, an grand uncle. So that's why they're all. I call them all my lolo. So that's why I know it's a little bit confusing. But two sides. One side is politics, and then one is martial arts. But actually, the martial arts and the politics kind of intertwined there.
That's actually what
we
I was
can
gonna
expound
ask.
on that in a bit.
That's actually what I was gonna ask. So you're gonna follow up on this June, okay? So I'm gonna ask this question.
Yep.
The interface of Incapis, the interface of the political side, the political clan, and then the kind of the warrior side, that's intertwined. That's almost like
only because my father, before he went into politics, well, he was already born into a political family, but before he really went to politics as as a public servant, as a vice governor, he was already an administrador way back. He was the first one who taught me the fundamentals of his style, and he introduced me to his master, Lolo Mayong, in Iloilo. So talagang administrador siya, Arnisador siya first before politician. So that's why when he became vice governor, one of the first pet projects that he really pushed through as part of his cultural contribution to public service was the revival of Arnis. I'm not calling it Filipino martial arts because we didn't call it Filipino martial arts. The revival of Arnis in the Visayas, especially focused on his province, Capiz. So I'm gonna expound on that later because there was a big he did a lot of things to get the Arnisadors, the unknown Arnisadors from all over to gather. I don't know if you want to talk about it now or we're going to segue that later.
No, no,
It's
no.
up to you.
Let's go.
Yeah. So, uh, see, like my father, uh, he was an Arnisador already. He had a group in Iloilo. There's three of them, and one of the founding members of that kind of martial arts group was Grandmaster Norman Swanico. He is in Canada right now. He was one of Tatang's elder students. The three of them, were actually like a martial arts group that they would study Arnis, Kung Fu. One of their members, Jerry, was actually a kung fu master that really trained in China. So he taught them kung fu and tai chi. That's why my father was always into internal arts. My father was also, because my father was also a Buddhist monk in Thailand for a couple of years. So talagang mahilig siya sa internal arts. But martial arts has always been something big for him. Kaya nung naging vice governor siya, the first thing he did was we have a festival, an annual festival in our province called Halaran Festival. So basically, he went on the radio. There was no TV and internet in that province then before, and he said, kung sino man, yung mga arnisador, anybody who can hear this in the towns, in everyone, if you're an arnisador, the province of Capiz is inviting you to join us on this day. Just come out. We will do a demonstration. We'll pay for your expenses. We'll feed you and stuff, and then we'll document the whole thing.
Wow, that's
so
an invitation.
that time, yeah. So and then the main attraction of that one was his uncle. He called his uncle in Manila, Tay Ben, Tatay Ben, we have this martial arts gathering. I want you to be the highlight, the bisita, or the highlight, because you're the grandmaster, and I want you to come to Capiz, and you're gonna be the last person demonstrating. So this is the whole town plaza. It's a big fiesta, the province-wide fiesta. Usually fiesta is like a little per town. The Halaran is a big fiesta of the whole province. So everyone, hundreds of people are in the plaza. And Mang Ben, that was the first time I actually met Mang Ben. I was probably I think probably 11, 12 years old, I would say. I was already training Arnis with my Lolo Ben's system, Lightning Scientific Arnis. He has instructors there in Capiz, but I didn't know about grandmasters and all of that. I didn't even know, but they just told me, like, your grandfather is coming and he's a grandmaster, and it's like, this what we have been training you for this couple of months is actually for you to be able to demo with him today.
Oh.
I was like, what do you mean?
Dang.
So kasi he actually, because he was born in Capiz. Mang Ben is born in Mambusao town, the town of the Villareals and the Lemas. And that is where the political Villareal clan hails from, and the Lemas also. And they're very close. Speaker Villareal's wife is Mang Ben Lema's first cousin. But the Lemas in Villareal are actually kind of relatives, malayong relatives. What do you call that? Distant relatives. So we're still joined in by blood. So that was the thing. So the day came, and a lot of people, and you would see these farmers. Akala mo may farmers, came out and introduced themselves. Oh, sir, ano po kami, may family system, para may family system sila. We will be demonstrating from the highlands, like this, this guy, like the old man was barefoot, talagang marami silang mga ganon. So it came even so this is just province of copies only. It doesn't even expand yet. So a lot of our listeners came out. That was amazing.
Mga ilan yata nag-attend?
Siguro mga 5 families, including, kasi the Lightning was very big then. So we have a contingency of the Lightning Scientific Annis because Mang Ben is here. So all the students lined up already for him. But it was just amazing to see the family systems. Now styles I haven't seen before.
Wow.
Even now, when I open my eyes to what Filipino martial arts is now, with the main styles, we have, Doce Pares, for example, and Balintawak and all those stuff, no? Modern arnis. Pero itong mga style na to, mga tipong, hindi ko pa ito nakita eh. Yung mga pluma, they have, like there's a system with like pluma, with a very, very long stick. And espada idaga siya. Then they fight very, very close like this. Ang iba naman talaga mahaba yung mga sticks. So it was really amazing. And stuff.
Hindi mo nakita sila ulit after then or
No, we remained in contact, but kasi siguro yung mga family systems ngayon, as much as the truth in Philippines, that's why a lot of those systems might probably died already because syempre yung mga anak nila, they only pass it to their sons eh. It wasn't a school or anything. So if the son says I don't want to do it anymore, I have to go to the city and work and go with my career and everything, then that system died. So some of them kind of joined us because the next step on this process is once my father established interest in arnis, what the West doesn't know is the arnis was not famous in the Philippines. We had to work hard, even it becoming a national sport. Mang Rene is a close Rene Tongson, Grandmaster Rene Tongson was a close friend of ours kasi Ilonggo rin siya. I know the struggles they've been through to get this to the point that it's going to be a national sport. But before, even in little towns, nobody knew about it. Nobody knew about martial arts. Everyone knows about karate. Everyone who knew who Bruce Lee is, the Shaolin Temple at that time in the 80s. But arnis, nobody knew about it.
Right.
But my father knew about it. So, but my father is also a theater director. He trained with PETA, the Philippine Educational Theater Association, and what he did is from the idea of a zarzuela, he put together a demo team, an arnis demo team. We have a small group and just focusing on arnis demo team, and then that demo team would focus on mga drills, but at the same time we put theatrics on it. We put theatrics on it. We're going to be throwing, or we're going to be multiple attackers, something like that. And then we would travel town to town and providing entertainment. Because when you go out of the city, especially we are a small province, but when you even go to the smaller towns, there's no TV there. There's no TV. There's no electricity. There's so people there have battery operated radio. So yung means of entertainment lang nila is before was stage play, right? Zarzuela. That's why Julius would probably be familiar with the term zarzuela because that's like
I saw it before the
So ganon,
martial tradition and
we would go town to town, magde-demo kami para ma-promote yung arnis hanggang
Sandali lang, by the way. Kuya Paul.
Hey, we have to say hi to our Mr. Paul Rosales in the house.
He's finally on. He made it home. Galing
Kuya
trabaho.
Paul, nasan ka? Nawala.
Sabi niya, pinakita niya yung lightning niya. Yung lightning.
Oo nga pala, yung mga inuman natin.
Thunderstorm yan,
Yung mga inuman natin. Dali lang. June,
Yeah,
get a
uminom na
drink.
ako.
Get a drink, man. I'll be right back.
I got mine.
Yeah,
Hindi
so
na ako nag-gin. Nagpalit yung yung schedule ko bukas, maaga pasok. So, beer muna
iced
ako.
tea ka na lang muna.
Next time na yung gin.
Tama yan, mag-iced tea ka lang muna, Wednesday pa lang eh.
Let me go read through the comments and stuff here, Muna, while we have Jesse Celestia Pulilo says, yo, Lance Velez, we might address some of this, but how did you hear about Lightning? Tapos Lance Velez, why do you think our niece was relatively unknown in the Philippines? Your thoughts? Tapos
Yeah,
sa Marius, you getting a
Lardy
shot?
Sabal.
Yeah.
Shout out to Marius. They're our team in Texas. They're teaching Lightning there in Texas. They have a small but regular group that they do that they play around on weekends. So
We're in Texas.
Marius, saan yung Texas? Po, lagay mo.
Sa Texas.
Malaki yung Texas. Malaki pala yung Texas.
Yeah, so
Saan sa
Jesse,
Texas
parang
kasi?
Jesse pa Polilo, kamusta po? Salamat sa
Baka
pag-attend.
mabisim. Ang kapatid ko
Uy.
nasa Texas, so pwede akong baka dumaan.
Of course.
So you want to address that one? I mean, Houston, Houston, Texas.
Houston, okay, good.
So how did you hear about Lightning? I mean, it sounds like your father was already an escrimador under Lightning, or totally different?
No, totally different. Totally different Visayan style. This was from his teacher was Lolo Mayong. See what happened because Mang Ben Lema, he was based in Manila. He only goes to the provinces pagka fiesta. Umuwi siya once in a while. So but he has a group of students here. Actually, kasi yung mga top students ni Mang Ben were all from sa probinsya namin. So yung iba bumalik na sa probinsya. So he said, okay, open a school there. And so at least pag nabibisita ako, then we have a group there, and one of his top instructors still living sa mga first the original generation was Grandmaster now Herman Licanto, which is he was the one that really trained me when my grandfather is not in town. So
wow.
That's why I got introduced in Lightning when my grandfather first came to Capiz, that I was already training in that big town fiesta.
Okay.
And it's funny teaching me, like, the weeks before they were said, oh, your lolo is left-handed, okay, he's gonna strike from here, so you're gonna respond from this angle. They had to train me. They had to drill me as if they were left-handed, so I can drill with them. So because I had a scheduled drill with them, but I've never drilled with him. But he came to Capi siguro mga 2 days before that big plaza. So I got to meet him. I got to spend time with him, and I got to kind of drill with him a little bit, just to prepare for that part. If you think about it, I was very small at that time. But I was really, really interested already in martial arts. That I was totally in it. I was training every day and stuff like that. To get ready.
Meron kang ibang martial arts?
I lost audio. Hold on a second.
Teka lang. Yeah, you ended up going on the computer.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you had other martial arts beyond
Yeah, well, at that time ng 80s, it was all karate. It was all karate, and that was the initial martial arts. It was all karate because most of the instructors then who picked up our niece were all mga karate do, Shotokan. Those are the old OG karate guys there. Judo.
So kasparing mo si Monsur?
Yan yung kinagisnan ko. Taekwondo.
Ginulbi ka ba ni Monsur?
Wala. Sakto, taga-buhat lang ako ng bag.
It's funny, pareho kayo Ilonggo eh. I was gonna ask Sachi concerning that. Yung taon na ito, when you're talking about nagkaroon ng mga gathering ng mga iba't ibang maestro. Ano yan, mid-80s?
Oh yeah, definitely. Early, mid-80s siguro, mga 85 siguro. Kasi 89 we already competed in the first WCAF World Invitational Tournament. The first international tournament na ginawa sa Cebu was 89, and I already joined there and competed there. So I would say mga 85, 84 na ako nag-start na talagang delving into
sabihin,
the art.
yan ang banggitin mo. Sabihin mo sa amin kung paano ka nanalo ng forms competition.
Ito may konting controversy ito, pero sabihin ko na rin.
Yeah, go ahead, man. That's a world championship, bro. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. So what happened was, and it was because it was a big deal, right? Because it was for us, siyempre, mga probinsyano, hindi kami exposed what's happening around, outside the province, di ba? So, but then because my father was really networking with the national groups to see, because he wants us to compete. He had competition mentality talaga. So he believed in competition, he believed in sparring, ganyan. Kaya yung mindset ng Lightning talagang lagi yan pukpukan walang we had to test ourselves in a way.
Pukpukan sa Arnis.
Marami pukpuk kasi pa ako eh.
Sandali lang, sabi mo ibanggitin natin pag pumasok na si GM Darren. Ay, pumasok na. So say hi.
I would like to say hi to Grandmaster Darren Tibon. I wanted Brother Darren, I wanted to I asked Julius to let me know if you come in, because I wanted say thank you to Grandmaster Darren, because he was the first one who kind of gave us an opportunity to present our style here sa US. Nobody knew about us here. Nobody knew Lightning, and he was in California, but he said, my workshop is about grandmasters, and I know, your grandfather is Mang Ben. I'd like to invite you over to California. I flew there
Awesome.
to California
Awesome.
just to be there. Yeah, because ako naman yun nga, all of what I'm doing right now, being with you guys, going to the gatherings, it's really is for my lolo. Wala naman akong school and everything, but I'm doing this because we never rooted here in the States. Lightning didn't really rooted here in the States compared to the other martial arts na was here early, like Grandmaster Angel was here already, Pikiti Tertia, Master Leo, Grandmaster Leo Guy was here, among others.
How long ago
Lightning wala eh.
How long ago was this?
I think Legacy 8 was just after COVID, so mga 2021.
Oh, you're talking about recently. It wasn't like something
No, everything I did, all of what I'm doing right now is all recent. Kasi,
actually, I met, now that I think about it, I met a Lightning guy here in South Florida. Pero this was back in, I'd probably say 2008, 2007, 2008. Norman Lim, I think was his name. I don't know. Pero this was back in 2007.
It's possible. I mean, kasi, yun nga eh. Marami kasi, malaki kasi ang Lightning sa malaki ang Lightning sa Philippines. They're called the 4 pillars in the Philippines. Ilustrísimo, 12 Pares, Modern Arnis, Lightning. Yan yung mga malalaking grupo sa Pilipinas. Like, branches all over to the country. So, siyempre, mga iba siguro nakapag-abroad na rin. And also one of the top instructors of Mang Ben was the founder of Las Cas, no?
Elmer?
Master Elmer Ibanez, no? So si Lolo, you've seen the video that he was performing in that was in Danilo Santos gym in California. That was the video that you would see him mostly in the internet.
He does that. He does the Elorde solar plexus shot in the end as a finish.
Yeah. Yung makita mo, 'di ba? Yung banat na
turo din sa amin ni Roach yan eh. Yung suntok di, that's the finish, like right there in the center. Yeah.
So Yung kay ano yun. So that was his only kind of foray here into the States. Na-invite siya to perform and demonstrate there sa the Master Dance gym. Then bumalik na sa Philippines, but we didn't really put anything here. Now, si Master Elmer came to Seattle and started his own group there. He was Master Elmer and actually Grandmaster Bobby Tabuada were very close friends. That's why when I introduced the first thing I introduced when I introduced myself to Grandmaster Bobby when I met him in New York, kasi kaibigan po ako ni Master Elmer, Lightning din po ako. Yun, si Elmer yun. So, kasi sadly, after a few months, Master Elmer died of cancer.
Yep.
So again, wala na naman kami grupo dito. Then, ako din, as I said, I was out of the picture for a while. So we never got rooted in here. Kaya right now, nung I decided to come back into Filipino martial arts, I try my best to get the word out there. So that's why we were segueing into Grandmaster Darren Tibon's legacy, giving honor to the Grandmaster. It was even without him knowing me, I didn't have any videos out or anything. He just knew I was, Mang Ben's grandson. He said, if you can come over to California, I would like you to present. And I was like, yeah, definitely, I'll be there. And one of our lighting instructors in Portland, also a decorated chef of Magna, Carlo La Magna, is James. He's one of the rising stars of culinary in the culinary scene in the U.S. He actually flew there with me and he said, okay, because I needed an right? I need somebody, I need a partner.
Yep,
I didn't have anybody. I was practicing solo here.
Buti may
So
nahanap.
actually, nakakatawa kasi, I don't know if you know, but Darren Tibon and I are almost, we also know Sarada, so both of us. So tanong naman, let's go style a little bit. Kasi may nakita ka bang similarities ng Sarada? Kasi
meron
to be honest with you, nung nakita ko yung video nung grandfather mo, ang automatic sa akin kasi back then one style lang ako, Sarada.
That's how you started.
Kaliwete, di ba kaliwete?
Kaliwete ka rin, tama.
Sabi ko, Sarada lang pala to, gumanon lang ako. But not realizing that there's other arts. Kaso, yung uppercut niya dito, yung pag nag-uppercut siya dito sa panga.
Yeah.
Para siyang old Laguna style ng Largo. Now that I digest, yung style, I mean, can you talk about a little bit that? Kasi nagpunta ka naman ng seminar.
That's correct. Kasi although we market Lightning as the power strikers, right? But actually, the heart of Lightning is Serrada Cadenilla. That's Mang Ben's forte. Serrada Cadenilla. So change Serrada. So bituloy-tuloy, di ba? Flowing na Serrada.
Right.
So nakita nga namin kasi I was watching Grandmaster Tibon's group and chess when they perform and said, ang movement may ganyan, di ba? May ganon. So it's there. Ang difference may difference lang in terms of like footwork kasi kami we flank and we use the regular lightning stick, but we hold it shorter. Kaya mahaba yung punyo namin. That's why we always get questioned by that. Bakit ang haba-haba ng punyo nyo? Kasi karamihan is let me get a stick.
Naghahanap na. Basa na. Pagkita mo gano'n, it's like
mag-cheers tayo, may Jack Daniel ako eh. Kayong dalawa. Cheers.
Cheers. Ayos yan. Kaya nag-ingat ako mag-shot kasi baka biglang okay. So, see, this is the regular Arnistic 2028, 26, 28, right? Yep. So, maghawak kami almost here.
Holy cow.
So, pero pag titingnan mo, itong length na to, sirada to. Kasing nahaba to ng sirada na stick. This part here. But when we play Largo, we slide this down.
Yeah.
So we can play both.
Madaya.
Yeah. Mag-adjust. Pwede kami mag-adjust because
No, that's good though.
we're adjusting depending on how we want to play with you, diba? So that was part of it. So sirada talaga yung heart and soul ng Lightning. And it's also Espada y Dagas. Same thing with ang maganda nga kasi Mang Ben Sirada is Western Visayas. And Angel Cabales is Cebu, so it's more Eastern Visayas. How that came about was also interesting. There's also master, the master in Negros.
Felix Ginabo?
The ones with the Master Ginabo.
Yeah, Felix Ginabo.
Yeah. If you see Master Felix Ginabo, he also has what they call Piga Piga. Piga Piga is also very close to our Sirada. So Piga means pigar or to post. You would see it in his movement.
May nakita akong video rin, pag tinawag nilang kahit na tapado, gumagalaw din sila ng ganito.
Yeah. So yung tapado was very Negros. Talaga. Yeah. Correct. So yung style ng Sirada, then when we saw it, and it's like, okay, so our Sirada is really a Western Visayas thing. So hindi lang naman din kami. May mga system na may Sirada sila. So siyempre, but it's interesting, right? But Negros kasi, although we are Western Visayas, you have to take a boat to Negros, mga 2-hour boat ride pa yun. Yeah. Correct. So how they interacted, kasi hindi ko naman alam nung unang panahon may mga tournament ba sila o nagyayaan ba sila? How do they exchange notes? Paano naging similar ito? Sino ba pinanggalingan ito? Alam mo yun yung mga magandang hanapin na mga tanong eh.
Teka. Meron tayong tanong sa mga viewership natin.
Okay.
They're like, hey, so Lance, first question was, why do you think our niece was relatively unknown in the Philippines? Your thoughts?
My thoughts was kasi siguro, well, akin lang to although I've talked about it with some historians too, yung effect kasi ng colonialism sa atin, yung tipong yung imported muna. Like especially we always go for the imported when we looked upon our art or our culture as secondary. Like, karate muna tayo, judo, and also that's just part of it. But second thing is our niche before it became more systemized, like may modern niche and Lightning, it was, as I mentioned earlier, it was a family system. Tinuturo lang yun sa anak mo, it just passed on to you. Wala nang, siguro may students lang yan, 3 ang isang maestro, ganun lang, piling-pili yun.
But of course, my son.
Yeah. I remember, kaya yung
of course, my son.
Yeah.
We always give it to my son.
Yeah.
Inside joke.
Ganun talaga eh.
Inside joke.
Yeah, that's why a lot of systems died down because it wasn't passed to a big group. That's why we were thankful for this grandmasters who kind of systematized the system na nagkaroon na ng mga modern armies that it went into schools, and Lightning was kaya nga Lightning scientific because the scientific was there because may mga curriculum na, may mga steps by steps, may belting, may promotion. It was very kind of karate na systemized na set up. Before wala eh. Parang doon dati titingnan ka lang ng maestro, tuturo sa iyo ito gawin mo, tapos walang yun, next week iba na, malayo na naman sa titingnan lang niya kung yung progress mo eh.
Pag tinamad ka, hindi ka natuturuan.
Or suplado ka.
Papaluin ka.
Totoo, papaluin ka. So even my father was a lawyer in Iloilo. He introduced me to his grandmaster, Lolo Mayong. Maliit lang siya na hut eh. Sa outskirts of town, sinama niya ako, I would believe like mga 7 years old ako. Lolo Mayong, sabi niya, kasi may influential na siya but the gold man said, Lolo Mayong, pwede na ba itong turuan yung anak ko? Sabi ng matanda sa akin, Vice, tingnan natin. Ganon ang hindi yung tipo ko, sige kasi lawyer ka, tanggap ka, tingnan natin. So sabi Sabi niya sa akin, anak, lapit ka to, lapit ka. Tapos kumuha siya ng daga, kahoy na daga. Sabi niya, I'm gonna try to hit you sa ulo. Ay, harap-harapan kami, ganun lang. I'm gonna try to hit you sa ulo. I want you to trust me na hindi kita tatamaan. Gusto lang niya makita yung reaction ko. That was like what I got from it. But ganun lang siya. Tapos, bam, bam. So like, very like half an inch from my eyes.
Talagang
And I wasn't, ganun lang. And then, you know what he was looking for? Sabi niya, okay, sabi niya, attorney, pwede to, hindi kumurap. Ganun yung mga testing, di ba? He didn't blink. So, that was the test.
Let me see.
May tapang to, may tapang. So hindi niya sinabi sa akin what you want me to react. He didn't say anything, but it was old school, right? Ganon.
Yeah.
Tapos tapos ganon. Tuturo na siya. Ito yung basic natin. Ito yung basic. And his style was very cool because it was tensing. It's almost like illustration mo na tipong pag-strike, then hit ka agad. Alam mo yung diretso. Parang kendo na parang ganon. So it was very kendo-esque pero a short stick.
Yeah.
So it was really, really interesting as well.
So,
tapos meron pa kaming na-encounter na maestro din. Before kasi, if you want to go to Iloilo, to Capiz, which is the next province over, it's either you take the train 4 hours by train, or yung may bus no, hindi pa mga aircon yung bus, so mga 3 hours din. So minsan, pag nagmamadali na yung tatay ko o 4 naman din kami, mag-hire siya ng taxi to go to from Iloilo to Capiz. Pero aarkilahan mo na yung taxi kasi hindi mo na pwedeng i-metro dahil sobrang layo mga 250 kilometers.
Oh.
So papakyawin mo yung magkakasundo kayo ng taxi para hatid kayo, kasama na yung pabalik niya na bayad. So one time, sige, di late na kasi, 4 naman kami, nagbakasyon kami, sabi ng kumuha kami ng taxi, sabi niya, hatid nyo na lang kami sa Capiz, nagkasundo sila, hatid sa Capiz. Dumating kami sa Capiz gabi na. Sabi niya sa driver, dito ka na matulog, kasi gabi na, wag ka na umuwi, bukas ka na umuwi ng maga, pagtapos mo mag-almusal, kape, ganyan. Di pag umaga, pagising, di handa. Di umaga, practice na kami ng tatay ko ng arnis. Nakita niya, putik na yan. Arnisador di pala nagpakita ng system niya. Master pala siya, pare. Ibang style naman.
Yung driver?
Na mahaba na espada yung dagat.
Yung
like,
driver, master.
Yeah, it was very, very good. Like super, very close. Until now, I've never seen any system that does pure pluma. Nobody does pure pluma. If anyone who doesn't know what pluma is the feather pen. Plume, right? The feather, yung mga unang system. So it the how they hold the stick is like this. Who would think about holding a stick like this? But it's basically boom. And then it like wala lang space, but then it whips. Then the whole body whips and then it hits you. So kaya kanyang tamaan in a short range. By this pluma. So, para lang siya naghawak ng it, and it's also very not antagonistic kasi para nakaganito lang. Then, if you twist your body and you push this on, you would see it come through. But then the whole body whips, and then it hits you very, very fast. Pero ganito lang hawak. It's very relaxing hawak.
Parang lapis.
That's what it is. That's what pluma is. It's the pencil. It's the ink pen. So ganon. So ganon maraming arnisador sa Pilipinas. Marami lang sistemang nakita. Never na natin namatay na 'yon. Hindi na natin nakita yung mga sistema.
Alam mo, nakakatawa talaga kasi in Sarada, we also have that. I call it shoulder block. Ang mga tao, kadalasan tinatanong, hindi ano yan. Hindi malakas ang hawak dun sa grip.
Yeah.
Ang hindi lang nakikita yung check hand. Check hand gumagalaw kasi.
Kasi ano yan
Correct.
May ganun yan
Correct. Gumagalaw yung check hand.
Laging may check. Kasi nasa mid-range kayo. You guys are in mid-range. Everything comes into play. So this one needs to come into play because you're not doing largo na. You cannot just put your hand out there. It's gonna get hit. So tama.
Tapos kung
exaggerate yung block yung wing dito in terms of like
kung in-exaggerate mo siya ng konti, pag let's say we call it hema now, then gano'n na yung black.
Yeah.
Naging, but but it's
Sa amin
amazing,
naman,
right? Na
yeah, so like ito yung sirada, no? Then it push. So this one mimics actually the sword coming out from the scabbard.
coming out
So
for the
this,
scabbard.
yeah, so basically this is not actually a strike for us. That's why the sirada for us is not a stick system. It actually is a blade system. This doesn't make sense for a blunt weapon because there's no power here. This is either
Correct.
just to block. But if you apply it in the blade motion, this is killer. It's very hard to block something coming from down here. And it's ano siya tago siya tago. Masyado siyang tago na strike. It just comes out from the scabbard.
Yeah.
Then it goes.
It's a straight shot right out of the scabbard.
May follow-up question ako nakuha na DM sa akin, which is for some reason they don't want to log on to the June poll.
Ano ba yan?
Tell them
Tama yung sinabi ni kaibigan Lance Velez. Pluma is an illustrissimo mainstay as well. Yes, I've seen Tatang do Pluma. But the person I met, it's pure Pluma. The whole system is Pluma. That's it. That's very unique.
Wow.
But the follow-up question was not Lance, it's some other dude. He said your grandfather's style, if in Spanish, is derecha cerrada cadenilla espada y daga, which if you translate that in like English, that's like cutting a thirds close quarter chain link combination with sword and dagger. That's how you would translate that in like,
it is. That's true.
So here's the thing. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by cutting into thirds close quarter?
Kasi ang the strikes coming tatlo eh. So 1, 2, then it hits like that. Tapos dalawa yung meaning ng tertia sa Bisaya. It could be thirds. This movement here that torques, it's a tertia too. There's tertiahin mo. So that's a torque too. That's a tertia also. But that's also like a third. Kasi short movements. So it's like, it's like I guess a quarter beat or thirds yung timing, yung pagka-time niya. So short siya. Then we have our long range game which we call our drill bigay tama. Long range naman na laban yan, puro power strikes naman yun. And ang bigay tama namin is actually a longer powerful balintawak kasi it's full strike, half strike, full strike, half strike, full strike, half strike, pero sa malayo na range. Ba? Yeah. So, ganun din again may hawig din. Kaya nung nakita ko yung balintawak, sabi ko like I know this, I understand this movement. I understand this movement. Counter agad pag ng power strike, counter agad ganyan. So, may ganyan din kami.
So,
Actually, may storya kami ni Jun yan eh. Kasi
may mga kwento, yung mga kwento na ganyan eh.
Teka lang, ano ilalabas mo dyan? May kwento ba tayo?
Nung nagpunta ako sa bahay nila, sabi ko kay Jun, meron akong video. Sabi ko, mga old masters to, sabi ko.
Naghambog
pa. Mga to.
Naghambog pa. Talagang, may video ko, excited. May video ko, old masters.
Sabi ko sa kanya, hindi ko lang masyado pinanood kasi parang ang galaw, parang sarada na, sabi kong ganon. Panuuri natin, sabi kong ganon. So nilagay niya sa video. Balintawak lahat nandun, balintawak master.
So Paul, yung Herosa, kailan na yung dumating sa iyo yung Herosa?
I started probably
sarada ka before.
Sarada kasi ang attitude ko sa dati noon, mabilis na ang sarada. Sabi ko, naghahanap ako ng mas mabilis.
Okay.
So dumating ngayon yung film na Escrimadores.
Yes, Escrimadores.
Oh, yeah.
Nakita ko mabilis silang pumalo. Kasi
tuloy-tuloy, no? Tuloy-tuloy yung parang
correct. So yung ang maganda ron, saka bumukas na rin yung mata ko na hindi lang ako sarada ngayon. Tumitingin na ako sa ibang art.
Yeah.
Kasi meron din ang sarada na rule of 3. Laging 3 din kami kung pumalo.
Yan. So then yun yung tertia, di ba?
Tama. Yeah, either sumangga kami ng 3 beses saka or wag naming pag umatake ka kailangan sa pangatlong palo mo. Hindi ka na doon ka na namin hihintuin. Hindi ka pwede lumampas ng 3.
Tama.
Pag kami pumalo, pag kami pumalo, 3 sunod-sunod dapat.
Tama. Yeah,
So nung
that's
nakita ko ang
we have
Hirosa
that
de
same
Cuerdas,
mindset also.
nung nakita ko yung Hirosa de Cuerdas, ang kaibahan lang, hindi sila nagche-chamber.
Tuloy-tuloy na yan.
Tuloy-tuloy
Wala
na.
na bumabalik. Oh, yeah.
Wala na bumabalik. Ngayon, so sabi ko, kailangan ko mahanap. But like you, ang hirap pag old style, ang hirap hanapin, ang hirap.
Yeah.
Tago.
Mahirap yun.
Mahirap.
Saka lalo na before, like we talked about in our pre-talk, it's not only na mahirap hanapin. At the same time, yung mga grupo, they don't like you to cross-train. Alam mo yun? So, like ako, it's a family system. Like, you know, parang, you know, my grandfather is not keen on having me cross-train. Eh, tatay ko naman was a Bruce Lee fan, absorb what is useful. So, I don't care because like I wanted to train with Tatang. So, here's what happened sa world sa WCAP tournament. All the grandmasters were invited, di ba? They had to demo. And the day before, you actually, I don't know if it was a day before or day after the competition, na yung grandmasters you get to train with them 2 hours. Parang may seminar, may mga mini seminar. Like pumunta kami sa bahay. May before the tournament, the night before, the top instructors, you know, my father kasi was a dignitary. We were invited for over dinner to Kakoy's house. I got to be at Kakoy's house, and then they did a little demo with them. They had a little demo. And then kain lang, inuman, kwentuhan. But all the grandmasters were there. Lumaki ako sa era na buhay silang lahat. Nakita ko sila lahat. Yeah.
Saka gusto nilang madaling mahanapin sila sa kasi sama-sama or hindi kagaya
Tapos
dati.
si Tatang, isang hotel lang siya ng tatay ko. Tapos sa gabi, Tang, turuan mo naman tong anak ko. Sa balcony ng hotel. Kaya ako, pinagmamalaki ko na yon na naramdaman ko yung strike ni Tatang. I mean, I've crossed sticks with Tatang.
That's a rare opportunity. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
When you meet all these old masters, meron silang energy.
Iba yung dating.
Hindi, seryoso sa mga nanonood, am I right?
Pulso.
There's an aura. It's called an aura.
Yeah.
So
when they walked into a room, like, you know, it's like, because like it's these grandmasters, they're treated as daimyos in the samurai, and also like the reverence in that, kasi that era of martial arts in Asia was very systematized towards karate. That there's as a pedestal of honor for teachers. You know, you go into a room, everyone stays silent. The master is here. Everyone bows down, and everyone bows to the master. There's a big master-disciple relationship. Na ngayon wala na yun eh. They go to a workshop, you know, halo-halo na yan. Before, when a master speaks, you listen. There's no questions. The question comes after. Pero during, it's it, full focus. Kahit sa martial arts, you go to old school karate, you cannot ask questions in the middle of training.
So matanong
ka doon sa master, push up ka.
Matanong kita, Sachi. So, di ba, yung pulso na tinatawag natin, di ba? Pag let's say pinalo, sabi ng master, paluin mo siya. Pinalo mo. Pag tinanggap niya, ramdam mo sa kamay mo yung pulso, yung lakas. Ito nangyayari, sa tingin ko lang ewan ko kung may iba kang opinion. Kasi nowadays, hindi tayo pwedeng pumalo o sumangga ng malakas or ibakita natin yung pulso. Nawawala yung pulso. Kasi nowadays, kumbaga mahinhin tayo ngayon bumag-block kasi baka tamaan yung estudyante, baka suit and whatnot.
And it's that's a very important point, no? Because that, you know, I grew up training since I was little in the Philippines, and when I came here, and I went to all these gatherings, and when they say you hit hard, it's like, that's hard. I don't think you know what hard is. You know, sa mind ko lang, yung malakas nila, hindi pa malakas yun. Because part of sensitivity training, especially for us, for example, I can only say it in our system, part of our sensitivity training is you should know what it feels when a master hits you soft or when it hits you fast or when it hits you hard. It's all in the feel on the stick. That's why you cannot kaya sabi ko nga sa kanila
Hindi pwede
nung
laging
una
soft,
akong
di ba?
no. I mean, may time naman na nag-soft kasi si Mang Ben, he will give you enough power that he knows you can handle. Pagka alam niyang kaya mo, balian ng stick yun. Balian ng stick sa Lightning, normal sa amin ang basagan ng stick Pero pag ikaw, may yun, may give pag hit yun. Pero ang the attitude of Lightning, once we hit you with enough force, but we break here.
Yeah.
Pero para magkaroon ka ng reaction time that sometimes gonna hit you like this. Pero pagdating doon yung pigil. Pero
so,
yung sense of timing mo hindi nawawala.
About an inch away from the target, am I right?
Correct. Yung mag-break ka depende sa kakayanin ng student mo.
Yeah,
and
correct.
The reason why kasama na yun yung matamaan. Kapag tinamaan ka ng master sa kamay, hindi kasalanan ng master yun. Ibig sabihin, mali yung
kasalanan mo. Yes, correct.
Kasalanan mo yun.
So,
kasi tama yung...
nakakatawa, kasi pareho din ang principle ng natututo ko na sarada. Pag mali sangga mo, ang babagsakan mo shoulder, tatamaan ka talaga.
And nobody's gonna sue you there. It's just like, hey, you just take it, And that's a difference. And I understand the sensitivities here, but what I'm telling the Western students here, you're missing a lot. That feel that you get from the stick, you would know, parang signature yun Like I know what it feels when my lolo strikes me. And then when I went to do a workshop in the Philippines, the first thing I did to all the students is like, I want you to just hit me. I want to see mga advanced students. So I want to see the feel of your stick. Ganun lang. Ginlock ko lang ganun. Lahat sila, lipila, hatyakan nyo. Just sabi ko, just hit me as hard as you can or however you want to strike. I just want to feel it.
June, pumila daw tayo sa kanya pag na-meet natin siya.
I just want to feel. Kasi dun sa feel ng stick. Sa feel ng stick, I know sa feel ng stick, I know your timing, I know your speed. I will know everything from that. Kaya sabi ko, I know what my grandfather's stick feels. I know what tatang's stick feels. Kay tatang naman, you don't feel it. It just hits you a little bit quick and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Diba? Sabi ko, signature yan And if you don't have that experience, if you take it out from the students here, they won't feel that signature. Fingerprint yun They won't feel it. It's very, very important. That's why
not only they won't feel it, but they also has a false sense of timing and security of what actual power is gonna be.
That's why I really made it a point to go to New York to meet Grandmaster Bobby. Kahit naman hindi ako balintawak, right? Because I was interested. Because I grew up in the era where all the Grandmasters are alive, and I know they have something that you won't get them anywhere else. Iba yung dating nila just be in the presence. Si Grandmaster Bobby has that same presence as the Grandmasters of old. Same.
Yeah.
People don't know that. Like, when they are in that era, parang mga demigods yung mga yan I'm not trying to just like look at it because like they're grandmasters and them looking at the pedestal, but they walk a certain way. They walk a certain way. They move a certain way.
There's a certain aura talaga. There's a certain aura and presence.
Correct.
We got more comments, so I gotta give shout out. Greetings from Cincinnati, Ohio. Kamusta ka lahat? Michael Malanyaon. Pare Sachi.
Michael, partner.
Pare Sachi, sikat ka na. Sabi ni Michael. And then Marius Lardisabel, nakapostura. And then Lance is like, iba.
Yes, nakapostura, nakadamit lahat sila, sina Tatang, sina Mang Ben, nakadamit yun.
Yep.
And then iba yung mga matatanda, unique individuals. It is sad that most are gone. The old way of learning, even if painful at times, is still better in my opinion. So that was Lance.
Yeah. And it's not even the system. Your system, you can learn it. Parang you can there's certain, for example, if you apply to a corporate company, there's certain skills that you can learn, but there's certain creative skills that you can't learn, that you can only pick at some in a certain way, yung creativity na yon. And like, for example, Mang Ben has hundreds of students, but not everyone move like him, right? Or understand what he does.
Yeah.
Because kanya-kanya yun nga, may perception, kanya-kanyang perception, kanya-kanyang aptitude sa pag-aaral, hindi naman lahat maging pareho. Pero nagintindihan nila, we can do the same moves. Pero yung the understand or the feel, if they don't feel that feel, they will never get it.
Yeah.
Oh, when I teach here,
kadalasan nga din yung mga ibang estudyante takot makipaglaro sa mga grandmasters. Sinasabi ko sa mga estudyante ko, pag may grandmaster, you have to go and touch hands. Kasi doon mo lang talaga ma-feel yung kaibahan ng energy niya.
Yeah. And yung nagkakaroon na nga dito, minsan, I get minsan I get annoyed when they, there was like when we disrespect the grandmasters here on like the forums and stuff like that. It's not like you cannot beat the grandmasters. You can probably skill to skill like an MMA fighter would be, but it's like you have that sense. Wala kasi you don't have. I mean, if you haven't practiced any Asian martial arts, you know that relationship, that honor, that that presence in that honor system that you have in relationship between your master teacher relationship. It's part of an Asian culture, even sa being a monk. You have a guru, you have a pad, kung sa Jedi pa, you have a master and you have a padawan. Because that's the way of Asia. We are very patriarchal in a way. We look up at our father. We put a sense of, we have a place for our father. It's in the front of the table.
Well, and the thing is that
that kind of thing.
Basic respect for your elders is the basic thing too.
Sa
from a
atin,
culture,
no?
we
It's
respect
very
our
respect for
elders.
the elders.
We honor their experience and everything. Kaya
so kay Kakoy, I've seen Kakoy also do his escrido. It was also very, very, very cool to see that. Alam mo yun yung mga time na yun eh.
Yeah.
And think about it. When I met those masters, they were already in their 70s, but they still move really, really well. Alam mo yun? So yung tipong, this was like an antique blade that has been sharpened over time. It might look rusty, but it's still deadly. Yung tipong ganun na analogy.
Tanong ko lang, Sachi, anong natutunan mo sa karunungan na arnis that were you able to apply here? Kasi alam ko, magaling kang mag-coding. Na-meet mo asawa mo dito, that kind of thing. Right? How are you able? Wait, hold on. How are you able to parlay those skills to run away like Flash, so that you wouldn't be the scion of your political
fly away with Flash? Well,
you're like, screw you guys. I'm not gonna go into politics.
I've always, so if you put the traditional arts into the modern concepts of influencers, like what we talked about before, it's how much effort or how many hours you put into a certain movement, right? That's what Bruce Lee was saying. Like, I'm not scared of a man who can, do one single, very, very strong one single. It's the man. I'm not concerned about the man who can do 200 kicks, but I think a man who has practiced this kick 200 times or something like that. And then in the modern books, it says like, hey, you have to put in 10,000 hours to master a certain thing. So coming from traditional martial arts mindset, Lightning has a small subset of techniques, but because we have demoed it, we keep on training it and kind of sharpen it along the time. Our movements, there's a certain refinement in the movement that I don't see sometimes in people who just went to a workshop or just putting together stuff. That they might understand the system, but there's no. I would automatically see the refinement in their execution that I don't see. That I would see from people from the masters back home that I don't see on some people here. It's because of the time spent, because Western, what I've seen with the West is they're very impatient. They cannot, I mean, how many times you're gonna do this, or how many times you're gonna do a punch like this? We keep on doing that back home. It might seem boring to hear, but for us, it's part of mastery. It's part of mastery. So that's, if you bring that to a corporate environment, it's the same thing. You have to hone your skills. to a certain degree that it's like a knife. Your mind thinks, if you train like that, your mind also works like that. It's like, I want you sure your mind is sharp. It's
Kasi di ba napag-usapan din
konting-konti
natin
lang
to napag-usapan din natin kahapon to, di ba?
Correct.
Sa sinawali lang, kasi repetition siya, di ba? Makikita mo lang yung palo nung unang sinawali. Kung minsan pag wala silang babad sa pagpalo, iba-ibang direction yung
Correct.
takbo ng stick. Doon mo talaga makikita kung they spent the time na mag-aral nung angle 1 or buhat araw. Kasi pag marunong ka ng buhat araw, isang pare-pareho lang ang babagsakan nun. Na unless na talaga in-adjust mo. Sinawali, may partner ka, doon talaga babagsak dapat. Mahirap explain, di ba, Sachi? Ang hirap i-explain kasi
but also I also Tatang explained this to, I think, Mark Wiley. He said, strike me. And every time Mark Wiley said he was striking Tatang would react differently. Sabi ni Mark, why did you change this? I strike the same thing. No, you didn't.
You didn't, correct.
The angle changed slightly.
The angle changes.
And see those minute details, the masters, the people who train traditionally see that. I can see, and also, like, for example, when we spar, for example, like, of course we're hindered by our eyesight, but when you strike me, I'm not scared of that strike coming in, because I understand how that is coming through me. People who are not does not have that instinct in the understanding, they would maybe block like this or medyo alanganin, but it says, but if you've seen that strike 100 times, I'm like, I know how to respond to that.
And you stay on the pocket. Correct, you stay on the pocket.
Stay on the pocket.
Yun eh. Kasi
hindi ako takot, kaya when I demo, I mean, people who went to my workshop, I said, just hit me as hard as you can. Because I'm used to it. So and I know
repetition talaga, repetition.
Repetition. So I think that's the part of the traditional martial arts that, even if you cannot put the number of hours right in the gym, but if I'm at the house, I hold my stick. I just play around with it. I twirl with it, but I still feel at one with my stick. So indeed, you don't have to put hours in the gym. If you train at home, even for like 5-10 minutes a day, that's still enough in a matter of months. That's still a lot of reps.
10 minutes here and there makes a difference. I'm gonna GM Dan Medina was mentioning, first of all, it's not internalized, where you were saying about the grandmasters. And he also mentioned that's why I feel lucky to have started in 1978. Lots of masters were still around. So
correct. It's a great time. It's a great time, definitely.
So, GM Medina is lucky.
So I'm gonna just to share a little bit to kind of like help guide some things.
Na-focus tayo sa sa
because we got into a rabbit hole. Let me
we gotta get out of this rabbit hole.
Because
we can shift to politics now.
It's good to hear, pero at the same time, well, Sach, the question I have for you, one of the questions I have for you. So you've been kind of introduced into coming back and being out. What's the vision? What's the direction that you have right now on your plate in terms of sharing Lightning and coming out into the FMA scene?
Okay, so before I answer that, I have to put it on context why I had to come back.
That's probably a good question.
I know.
Gotta go.
So what happened? I trained with my grandfather at a very young age, 11 years old. And at that time, I was really very interested in the martial arts. It was a great time for martial arts. There was Bruce Lee, there were Shaolin Temple movies. It was a great time for martial arts. I was so interested in it.
Yeah.
And delving into politics a little bit, right? My father, because he was a martial artist, when he was vice governor, he didn't like guns. He didn't like guns.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi Yung nga eh. Kasi may samurai mindset siya, you know, there's no honor in it. I'm like, you know, so basically, but if you're a public official, they will assign you a bodyguard anyway from the military. So he was assigned two bodyguards na military with always like, you know, with the weapons and stuff. But you know what he did? He, to give livelihood to the arnis teachers, he hired them as bodyguards.
Wow.
But invisible bodyguards. When he goes to the fiesta, and he would speak, he has a public he would speak in public. The martial artist would not have weapons. They just have a knife and their skills, and they will be part of the crowd. They were not dressed. You don't know them. They go ahead.
Niro talaga.
Yeah, they go ahead a day before. They mingle with the crowd, so they are actually in the crowd. Those martial artists. The military is just there for you know, pang ano ba tawag dyan? Just to shoot, you know,
Yes,
ano tawag dyan? Just like they kind of show that there's some bodyguard in it. But the martial artists are in the crowd. So anyone who has something planned in the crowd, these guys were looking around. And this picked martial artists, these are also the bodyguards of Mang Ben. These are also the students of Mang Ben who he would trust, because Mang Ben has two sides of him. He was this honorable grand man of Arnis, but also he loves his sabong, he loves his cards.
So he's like GM Rene. He's just GM Rene with his fighting rooster.
So you know, when you go to places that has gambling, there's fights. There you know, fights can ensure. So Mang Ben has different students that are academics that teaches for him, and he has students that he trusts his life with. That's what he brings into this era. Different group of students yun.
Yeah, wow.
And
ibang mentality.
Ibang mentality. So
you're letting us in with the secrets, Sachi. Thank you for these
just
stories.
a little bit of hint. But this is
He's like, yes.
But this is like that era, right? Like Tatang was in the docks, right? He was an enforcer in the docks at the nighttime, you know. So these guys have seen. Mang Ben was told me recently that one of his jobs before was a debt collector, no, taga-singil ng utang.
Yeah.
And you know, in the Philippines, so from the businesses, so hey, these are like unofficial debt collectors, you know. So you know, this is what I'm saying. These are people who not only talk the talk. These guys walk the walk. This era, that era. You know, they went to World War II. These guys went to World War II, and then jobs were scarce at the time. They had to take these jobs, so not only tough guys can do, right? Mang Ben was also hired as a close-in bodyguard for Speaker Villareal. So that was one of the links there. So back to the question, what is the vision? So I started early with Mang Ben, right? So that's why I met these canvassers, and I still have a lot of memory of them kasi bata ako eh. So I was not old when I met them, so I still remember all of them. And there was with this but he would only come to our town every so often, maybe twice a year to visit and check on his students and check on the progress and stuff like that. So there was that one time that Mang Ben, my father asked, hey, you want to spend time with your lolo? And I said, yeah. And I was just graduated elementary, so siguro you know, 6th grade or getting the summer before high school. He said, I want you to go to Manila, live with him for the whole summer, and learn as much as you can from him. So that was my really close in learning with Mang Ben. You know, we slept in the same room, you know, we slept in the same bed, and I was this young kid. But every day, the old man would wake up at 5 a.m. and have breakfast, and we would go to his personal clients. He doesn't teach in schools. He has private clients siya. So every day we go as far as like mga Tanay Rizal, Cavite.
Wow.
And I was like a little kid. I was like, wala pa naman mga taxi, pero bus pa yun, di ba?
Yeah,
Commute
correct.
yun. I was like, it was very tiring. It was a very tiring time. But you get to see him train people in person. So private lahat yun. So marami ka mga secret, you can get a lot of movements, you see in the secret what he told, because like sometimes you cannot teach that in public. It's like different. You approach it with a mass of students, you teach differently than in private. So every time ganon, there was one time he brought me to the cemetery. To people who don't know, the cemetery in Manila is like a city. It's like it spans an area like it's a barangay. So I was like, why the hell did he bring me? I was scared of cemeteries before. But
Galing ka ng kapis, takot ka sa mga aso.
takot ako sa patay eh. Di bali ng buhay, wag lang yung patay. Sabi ko yung patay, hindi ko ma-scream eh.
So Sachi, kwento mo sa amin yan, yung mga kababalaghan. You gotta tell us
Oh,
that.
yeah. So anyway,
sa ano yan?
kami doon. So ang layo. We went
October
really
23rd.
inside the cemetery. And then what I realized when I get to that point, there are people living on the mausoleums. And they put houses on top of the mausoleums. And what I learned was one of the students was just living there. So, and that student takes care of his manok, ng sabong.
Oh.
So, but basically, that's the thing. Mang Ben teaches privately, but he doesn't teach rich people only. He would visit his students. He would love his students. He would go far for them. He would go into their houses and share food with them. Kape tayo, kwentuhan lang, kumusta ka na dito? Mamaya kwentuhan sila, mamaya usapan to, kumusta na yung manok, hawak-hawak na siya ng manok niya. Mamaya, sige, mag-arnis ka na, tingnan ko kung ano na yung nagawa mo.
Wow.
Yung mga gano'n na type, hindi mo makikita sa ibang master. Yung ibang master, hintay sa school nila eh. Lalapit ka, magbaw ka. Siya hindi. Siya pupunta sa'yo. Siya pupunta sa'yo, si Mang Ben. So, nakakapagod. For a young kid, nakakapagod. And
So actually, back then, yung approach ni Mang Ben is already changed. It's already different from the old people.
it's
Kasi
different.
kadalasan,
Kasi may
siya
lang siya,
mismo
may
lumalabas
group
na,
class
di ba?
lang siya. Weekends. On Sunday, we would gather at the headquarters. And all the top mga tinuturuan doon mga teachers lang para to check what's the curriculum this week or whatever, and say, okay, this is the technique of the week, this is what you're gonna disseminate, kanyan. Pero once a week lang yon, kasi he trusts his students na matagal na sa kanya. But most of the weekdays are gonna be private students. So this is like a 7-day work week for him. Ay matanda na yun. I met him siguro mga 67 years old na siya. And he was doing, ako naman bata, oh my God, hindi ba naman ako sanay magbiyahe sa Manila? Para ako magkakasakit eh. Alam mo yun, commute. So anyway, long story short, when I still after that, when I get I learned so much from that part. Of course, like, so I had my private training with them, intensive, let's say, because it's intensive summer class. And I went back home and start teaching and still learning and stuff until I wanted to compete na dun sa WECAF, because for me, although there is a burden being the grandson of a grandmaster, given the context of what it is in Filipino family structure, I told myself, I don't want to be just as the grandson of a grandmaster. I want to prove myself. So I that's why I wanted to compete. I said I want to compete. I told my father like scared, because I was very thin. I was a very thin and sickly kid, but I said I wanted to compete. And pinayagan naman niya ako, but my lolo didn't want me to compete in full contact then at WECAF with the armor and stuff, kasi mabigat pa yun at that time. So he just wanted me, okay, so if you want to compete, just join the forms competition, the first ever anyo competition and stuff. Just segueing back a little bit. So yung mga bodyguard na hinire ng father ko, one of them also, they go rotation to stay in our house. We have a guard house, and then one of those instructors lives in our house. So I would train up to 1 a.m. Pupunta ako dun sa guardhouse. Hindi ako mag-aaral kami hanggang karate, lahat. Pati sugal, tuturuan nila akong baraha, mga technique ni Mabet. Sige, lahat yung turo mo sa akin. So ganun talaga. And then I competed with recap at that point, and then of course after that, when I started to go to college, I was competing in the national level when everybody moved to Arnis, Philippines, because I wanted to be not just a scion in a say, but I really need to have a skills to kind of have that. So ganon. So I was up to college. I was very active in the competition circle. Grandmaster Rene knows that, and I was teaching the military police in Don Bosco, where my college is. Because the military police, yung mga MP, may mga batuta sila. We changed that to Arnis. The company commander then told me, like, I want you to train them, wag ka na mag-CMT, pasok ka lang to train them. So nagturo na din ako. Kaso yun nga, after ko nag-graduate ng college, then my eyes were like set on my career.
Yep.
And I wanted to go to US. Doon na ako medyo nag-separate sa lolo ko in a bit, because you, as a student from the province, you study Monday to Friday. And people don't know it here. The schools in the Philippines, you come in at 7 in the morning and then you leave at like 8 in the evening. Yeah. Ganon kahaba yung mga klase sa Pilipinas.
Lalo na kung Don Bosco ka, kasi Don Bosco ako nag-high school. 7 o'clock
kaya pala pogi.
Papasok ka. Labas mo ang end ng klase mo alas 4, kaso may mga activities ka pa.
Yeah. Hindi kasi kami at Don Bosco, we were engineering schools. We were engineering school, and our instructors were actually working engineers. So they come only to the school after work pa. So after 6 pa sila pupunta. So may klase pa kabing alas 9 ng gabi. So given that, so meron lang kaming gap in between. Then Saturday we have to go CMT. We have to go military training. And Sunday, which is supposed to be my only rest day, my grandfather said, "Let's go with me. We have to train people." I was like,
Sachi, Busconian ka pala.
Nakakapagod. Yeah.
Si Michael Malangyaon, Busconian din.
Tamo, kaya pogi din, kaya alam ko.
Sachi, tanong ko lang.
Si Michael lang mas naunang batch sa akin.
Yan.
Paano ka?
Matanda na ba?
I just got it. I just got it. I was like, I don't know.
Tanong ko lang, Sachi, paano ka na parito sa lugar sa East Coast? Kasi totoo lang, tanongin ko dito nakita mo bumagsak yung 2 tower, ano?
Yes.
Kwento mo sa amin yun.
Yeah, so that's what happened. After I graduated from college and I started working, so hindi na ako makasabay sa lolo ko kasi iba klase yung lolo ko eh. He's an unstoppable energizer bunny. Hindi ko kayang tapatan yung energy niya even though I was younger. Kasi gusto ko mag-rest day, gusto ko man, siyempre minsan gusto mo na mag-date sa chicks mo, siyempre hindi ka pa mag-arnis ka pa ba? Alam mo yan? So,
talagang high testosterone siya, minsan na matanda na.
Sabi ko, hindi ko kayang sumabay. So medyo nag-focus ako sa career ko after college because I wanted to come to the States. So after 3 years of working in the Philippines, I came to the US in late 2000, and yun nga, because we were hired as IT professionals during the .com boom, and we were web developers. I was a Microsoft developer expert. I mean, I talked on the Microsoft developer network in the Philippines. So we get hired here and stuff. So when I got to the US, that's when I lost contact na with my grandfather. So matagal hanggang wala na, hindi ako nag-practice. I mean, I didn't train since 2020. I only came back 6 years ago. So part of me doing this is because nag-pass away na yung lolo ko, hindi man lang ako nakapagpaalam and stuff like that. Parang all of these things came na parang na guilty, yung guilt, and you were the one that he was hopefully, I felt he want to pass something on to me because his sons didn't want and they didn't pick it up. They didn't continue it. All his other grandkids didn't pick up the weapon. It's only me who has actually picked up the weapon and really went through with it. I competed in everything, became a world champion sa Wika, and stuff like that. And I was competing with the best of the country. Pero pinabayaan ko. Kaya talaga, and then everyone was egging me, my father, my sister, everyone's telling me, you have to teach, not only because you were the grandson, but because you were one of the best students that he has. You have to teach. And ako naman parang, may trabaho na ako, weekend. So parang wala. Pero recently, there was like, a lot of these students also were like, oh, just came about and trying to, I was trying to connect with people na naman. I was trying to connect with my auntie, and then soon, I have a bigger part to play, and that's when I come back. So a lot of this journey is actually, sabi ko nga, it's almost like a prodigal grandson. I'm doing this all for my grandfather. That's I'm networking with people. I don't, if they want to ask me to teach them, I teach them for free, because I said I'm not doing this for money. I cannot do this for money. I am teaching this to have the world know about Mang Ben, his system, what is it about. And every time when I teach it traditionally, because I told them, you can innovate from here. I don't have a problem with innovation, but I want you to feel the closest thing that you can have from my grandfather. I'm not gonna, I innovated too in person. May mga innovation din ako. But when I teach it how he would teach it. But ikaw na bahala, from there. Let find your own journey, but I'm gonna teach you the original recipe. It's like, you're eating bak choy.
Yan.
Like,
Yan nga sinasabi. Diba?
You cannot tweak the recipe. If you want, you can trick it yourself, but I'm gonna serve you the bak
Kasi
choy.
diba,
That's
kadalasan, pag sinabi ng mga tao, gusto ko yung traditional. Wala naman silang explanation what the meaning of traditional.
Correct.
Maganda nga na-explain mo, kasi ganun nga, kung paano ako natuto, yun din kung paano niya tinuruan ako, ganun din ko ituturo sa iyo. Ngayon, kung hindi mo makuha, ang maganda lang sa akin or sa generation natin ngayon is meron tayong different way of teaching, kasi nag-modernize na ang the way we teach.
Of course. Yeah.
Yun lang talaga ang advantage. Kaso, mafe-feel mo pa rin yung lumang vibe.
Yes.
Tanong lang, Sachi, kasi parang may kulang, right? Tanong ko lang. So habang nagtuturo ka, meron bang molo na side dish pagkatapos? Tapos, yung sapatos floor shine ba? Yung bang slacks
hindi ko kaya ginagawa niya eh.
Wait, is it starts to the point that the slacks.
See, that's the one thing, like everyone is gonna, nobody can replicate those old guys. They teach and they fight with like leather shoes, slacks, dress shirts. Yun, formado.
Pwede naman natin gawin, try natin.
Kaya nga eh.
No, I'm just saying that
Parang Tagalog na, tapos
no, but like before, when I come back and people were like, so there's a Lightning guy in Jersey, and I've heard his Mang Ben's grandson. So they would contact me and they said, yeah, come over. They come over, I cook for them. Mag-iinuman kami dito, kami sa likod ng bahay, maglalaro-laro. Alam mo yun? So like, instead of them paying me, I actually feed them and drink them.
You spend more money. Well, that's the old way. So totoo lang. Kasi
ganun naman eh.
Yeah,
maraming mga estudyante si Mang Ben na mahirap, hindi naman niya sinisingil yun eh. Talagang love talaga.
Nakuha na nila yung loob mo nung bigay lahat,
Tsaka the idea of loyalty is different than what people think loyalty is.
Correct.
Before, they think, you have to be loyal to a system. And he said, if you're let's say Balintawak, you cannot cross train to otherwise because you have to be loyal to Balintawak. The problem is that is a misrepresentation of loyalty. You are loyal not to the system, you are loyal to your teacher because you have a teacher-student relationship. You are loyal to the idea of the teacher. It's not to the system. The organization can change hands, but your love and your respect and your loyalty to your teacher, that should not go away. Because he invested so much on you, and you invested so much time on that to learn from him. So ganon, kaya iba, di ba?
And speaking to that, Sachi, I mean, when I first met you sa New York, and I found out a little bit about you, in your pedigree and your lineage there, having that loyalty and I mean that connection to that teacher and that energy and the representation. That's why I thought it was very, very important, for somebody like you with that kind of experience to really come out and be able to share. I mean, we were all gifted with the knowledge and skill from our instructors, and somebody like you really need to be able to come out and be able to share that gift. And I think that's kind of where you're at right now is to share that. And I like hearing the fact na sinabi mo na you got to hear closest that you could show and share yung pulse ni ng lolo mo. So that was
Kasi, for example, I'm just gonna talk about Grandmaster Bobby, although I haven't crossed sticks with them. But when Grandmaster Bobby passes by, hindi naman natin, we don't wish, but that's nature. But when he passes on, how many students have truly kind of internalized him that they'll be able to kind of translate that on the same level? It's very hard, of course, and we're not putting pressure on you, but that's why it's very, very important to those people who still have a master that is guiding them now to get as much from them, not skills.
Yes.
And here's the thing. That's what I'm telling people. Don't get the system. Don't study. Don't focus on the system. Focus on the mindset. You know what I'm saying? How does this master think? Why did he strike that way? Instead of like, okay, I can do balintawak like this, right?
Yes.
Then they focus on the skill. But you have to go deeper. You have to ask.
Bix, tama na. Ang dami mo na sinasabi.
Yeah. parang bakit mo ginawa yun?
Tama.
Bakit mo ginawa yun, di ba?
Tama ka,
Focus
Sachi.
on the mindset.
Yeah, you really have to understand the mindset, the person, and really the knowledge.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, he actually, see, GM Bobby, first of all, I'm GM Bobby, for over 20 years now. And having trained under him, I've seen a lot of the things that he says. A lot of people don't realize he's actually telling a lot of the things to you already. Pero hindi pick up kasi ang hinihintay yung technique or yung movements. I mean,
hindi pumapasok sa ulo
within the organization. Pero yung
That's why I said in earlier, when a master speaks, you listen. That's it. You listen.
Yeah,
Don't focus on the technique.
Saka pag nag-demo, kadalasan pag nag-demo sila, may ginagawa sila na sa tingin mo, kasi nakita ko na yan eh. They don't focus kasi may mga little bit of pieces na pag hindi mo nakikita.
Like with Tatang, di ba? I mean, pag tinignan mo si Tatang, if hindi maano yung mata mo, di parang ganon-ganon lang. Di ba? Di ba? Pero nung in-expound na pala ng mga top students and when they were explaining it, ang dami palang mga details nun.
Correct.
Pero pag ikaw, hindi mo alam yung sistema, parang ba't ganon lang, ganon. Yeah. So, ang style ni Lolo ko, because he actually teaches like a lab. Like BJJ, his mind, because he was a judoka in Kodokan. He was actually Japanese trained, The style is same thing as when I studied BJJ here. He teaches the technique of the day. You practice the technique, you drill it, and then after that, you put pressure on it. At the same time, after the class, when everyone takes off their shirt, and put green cross rubbing alcohol, that's when the learning, that's what my colleagues were saying, that's when the learning starts, because that's when he was sitting with you and he said, Mang Ben, bakit mo ginawa to? Why did you do this? That's when the questions come out. That's why we always tell them the learning from Mang Ben comes in after. when everyone stops the training, they were sitting down and they were just hanging out for a second. That's why the lightning training would last like 3 hours, because the first 2 hours was just the skills training. Then when they hang out and they talk, mahaba pa.
Kasi
mahaba
di
pa.
ba,
Breakdown of
kasi
the
yun din na-explain ko dati sa, I mean, actually last week, in-explain ko sa estudyante ko yan. Sabi ko, pag magtuturo ka, meron ka dapat formula. Kasi kailangan, ikaw kasi
Yes.
nasa ibang level ka na. You have to teach yung goal, hindi yung curriculum. Magbigay ka ng isang curriculum, but other than that, you have to test on the end kung ano
Yeah.
yung natutunan. Tapos pag halu-haluin mo na, after that, makikita mo ngayon kung sinong may kulang, sinong wala. Instead of
Yes.
focusing on let's say level, isang technique, dalawang technique, doon lang fino-focus mo. Mahirap talaga kasi you become technique focused. Hindi
Correct.
hindi concept.
So,
Yeah. And
masasab
also,
Yeah.
go ahead, Julius.
masasabi mo, Sachi, like the secret is not in the technique. The secret is in the explanation.
Yes, because that's when because for example, right, this simple movement here, if you don't know what to ask, you won't know, Mang Ben, bakit ganito? Para saan to? Di ba? O para sa yung nag-torque ka ng ganito, para saan to? Yun pala, parang ganito, pwedeng maging abaniko yan, pwedeng tusok ka sa mata. Alam mo, yun yung mga gano'n na type, that certain scenario. Doon, hindi naman tinuturo yan at that breakdown eh. They just, hey, this is the technique.
Correct.
But it's like, pag tinanong mo after, and also, the old men, they don't talk. You have to know what to ask.
Yeah.
Kung hindi ka marunong magtanong, hindi rin sila magsasabi sa'yo. Yeah, that was the thing.
Saka
that thing
kailangan
before.
talaga umupo ka sa tabi niya at magtanong ka. Kasi
Yeah,
nangyari sa akin yan kay GMO before he passed away. Lagi akong
Yeah.
pagkatas namin ng training, umuupo ako sa tabi niya, nagtatanong ako.
Correct. And also, because Mang Ben was like, one of the guys, like, siyempre may kainan after, inuman after,
Correct.
o may iba pa yun.
Lagi naman ganun eh.
Yeah.
Ngayon naman kasi,
Doon
dito sa
madaming
Amerika,
story
di
na
ba?
share talaga.
Yeah, but
Dito
dito
sa Amerika
kasi, what I noticed here,
diretso ka ng uwian na.
yeah,
Uwian na.
correct. That's what I was about to say. In here, if you go to our seminar after the training, you go home.
Saka sino ba yung mga gumagaling sa mga fighting? May kagaya nung may school ako, nagtiteach ako ng Thai boxing. Yung mga tumitigil pag natapos ang klase, yung mga nagtatanong pagkatapos ng sparring, yun yung mga gumagaling, yun yung magiging fighter. Kasi tumitigil talaga sila para magtanong, bakit nyo ginawa yan? Bakit ganito? Bakit gano'n?
Like,
Tama.
Kasi fight breakdown eh.
Yeah, so actually, when we started competing with WCAF, we didn't have any armors then. So my father put in the money. We only had one pair of we had one pair of armor, one pair of headgear for the whole team. We just have rubbing alcohol to clean up the next one. So you have like it's all sweaty and stuff like that. No, but it builds up. It builds up the fighter when you have that experience. Because the one size the armor doesn't fit for everyone's size. I was a kid, but I had to put on the same armor. But then I had to grow my endurance. I had to grow my strength because I had to move with that. It was very hard, but it builds character. We were fighting with live stick, and then we have poor gloves. And you know what? When the sticks hit the gloves, it breaks. The gloves break, and then we get hit with the live stick on the bone. And then I would remember that. Blood seeping out of my pores kasi sobrang black and blue na siya. Yung dugo lumalabas na doon. Walang sugat lumalabas na doon sa pore. It's like if you bring it here on the West, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get sued for that. But there, that's how you spar. That's how you train for tournament.
Hindi pa gumagaling.
The pain is part of it.
Hindi pa gumagaling. May sparring ka na susunod.
Meron na naman, yeah. But it builds, it builds characters, and it builds that the mindset. That's what I got from there. That's like, oh shit, you know what? I played in this very, very hard scenarios. And also that's where the innovation came in. Because when we started playing my grandfather's system, he's teaching it. He didn't teach it as a sport as for sports, right? The grandfather, they didn't teach it the sport. So nung nag-compete na kami, marami nang hindi pwede. Like yung stances. The stances was like very traditional, karate stance. Because you have to be stable. But when the tournament came in, hindi na pwede kasi hindi ka na you cannot move too well with like very low stances. So what did my father do? He hired a boxer. One of the top Golden Glove boxers national that from Capiz. He called him up in Manila. June, come over here. I will hire you as one of my government employee. You teach boxing to my players. So the Lightning team had a power striking of Arnis, but our footwork was boxing. Our footwork changed from boxing, from the traditional karate to now we were jumping, and then we were just like sigida like that. So, and also our conditioning was boxing. The jogging, the sit-ups and stuff like
Holy
that.
shit.
So, yeah. So,
Tama
doon yung
tama yun.
innovation, doon yung vision ng tatay ko. That's why until now, the Capiz team of Lightning still wins tournament because the mindset was still there. We innovated the fighting style for sports, because the traditional martial arts is not in for sports. It's for one hit, one kill, supposedly. Right? We don't have time to
Fight
do all these
finisher.
things.
Fight finisher.
Yeah.
Pag ginamit mo nung during Japanese time, let's say, yung mga old style talaga nung Japanese times, wala ka naman tatakbuhan jungle eh.
Yeah.
Baka sumabit ka pa sa puno.
So nangyari naman, now I'm happy that Arnis is a national sport. The kids are learning Arnis. So I went home, I think 2 years ago, I went home, and every time I went home, I gathered my instructors. Then I told them, like, bring me all your instructors. I'll feed them, bring them to the stadium. The stadium is still called Villareal Stadium. Bring them to the stadium. I will teach them. I want to see their progress. And what happened was, the last time I was there, everyone is naman, the mindset was all sports naman.
Sports
Sabi ko,
naman, yeah.
no. So sabi ko sa kanila, you need you're moving, and you're thinking about the 1 point, gano'n na lang, puntos-puntos na lang.
Yeah.
Sabi ko, okay, I'm gonna attack you with this knife. I want you, whatever you're doing, sabi ko, I want you to stop me from stabbing you. And of course, they all died, right? So, what I told them was, you need to be able to separate the fighting art and the sports aspect of this. Hindi pwedeng, that's why Taekwondo is the same thing. If you bring Taekwondo to the streets, they get pummeled. We've seen that. So, but Taekwondo has combat aspects. Kaya lang naging masyado ng focus sa sports. The combat aspect was not understood. It wasn't it's not neglected because the front kick is still a front kick, but the mindset wasn't there
changed,
anymore.
Adjusted.
So so that's why I came there. Okay, let's switch back. I said we're gonna go combatives. We're gonna do combat, because what you're doing right now is cool. You're winning trophies, but that 1 point you're only targeting the arm to get that point. It will get you killed. If somebody
You get you killed the street, yep.
will get you killed.
Sabi ni Lance, mas mahirap yung sport kaysa fighting.
Pwede, depende.
The conditioning ang
depende.
mahirap eh. Yung conditioning.
Yung training.
Yung conditioning ang mahirap,
yes.
yung training.
Let me back up a little bit to read a little bit of some of the comments here. I think this is, we were going way back, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes from here. So Ibrahim Usil Rusala.
Richard Pacman, hello, bro.
Sachi very beautifully said. Richard Pacman, the generation was well dressed. Alex Ursia, Sachi, you need red slacks, white polo, and floor shine top.
As long as he wears it too.
Yeah.
No, meron ka nakalimutan dyan.
Saan?
Kailangan mo yung red na pomada. Homemade. Tancho Tick, yes. Yeah.
Si Rodel Orias, Pinoy Way of Training, Lance Velez, yan yung Bungkay version ng Arnis. Alex Area sounds familiar. The best parts Sabi ni Lance, the best part is after training. That's when you learn. Sabi ni Richard Pacman, the Portland LSI and KI seminar was fun. After the seminar was food and drinks, then deeper conversations happen. I'm forever grateful for that, Dao. Let's see.
Rather Richard.
Yes, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Julius, what direction are we going on now?
Yeah.
Gusto ko lang
Teka lang. Now that so you're coming out, I mean, let's go back to the big vision and direction of sharing.
Yeah, hindi niya sinasagot yung mga tanong natin.
Yeah,
Parang politician
So okay. So what actually?
So what's the vision and direction so that we know?
Yeah. So basically, what really happened also was
Paikot na naman tayo.
what happened? It was also a perfect storm, no? Master Ryan, of Mandarigmang Kaladidman, of Lescast and Lightning, Brian Bagani, he actually migrated na to the States. So nung pag-migrate niya sa US, sa New Jersey siya na unang na-assign. So nagkaroon na kami ng sparring partner, nagkaroon na ako ng somebody to drill with this is a high level fighter. Like Ryan is not only a great teacher, the guy is a friggin' fighter. He competed in MMA and kickboxing and Muay Thai in the Philippines trained under in Baguio with the Polayang, wherever those fighters train. So see, Ryan talaga was a fighter. So from there, that's what I got naman from him, like that fighting mindset. Iba naman. So now, then, because of that, Guro Carlo of Portland also started teaching in Portland. Then Ryan moved there, so nagkaroon na ng group sa Portland. Then that's why we did our first Lightning gathering there. Then ako naman, Master Errol here in the East Coast, and Alex that teaches in New York. They have Lightning lineage. Nagband naman kami. Now Errol Ballesteros of Ballesteros Cali and Master, they have Lightning lineage too, but they didn't fully train Lightning, so they were happy that I was here. So nagband naman kami. Then I would teach in their workshops. So we do kind of quarterly or sometimes twice a year workshop, depende kung ganun sa busy. So nagkaroon bigla ng parang energy yung Lightning dito. Nagkaroon na ng mga grupo. We have Marius teaching in Texas, So what the goal now is at least get some more teachers out there, so we can train more. Right now I'm the kind of my role right now is the voice of Lightning, because we have a lot of teachers that are really good at teaching, but they're not into the networking aspect of it. So that's where I go to the FMA gatherings and introduce myself, and just contribute to the community. And saka umalis na rin ako sa mga forums kasi I see, look, there's different ways to market your system than like the forums na it turns into the discussions turns into trash sometimes, so na dismaya ako doon. So that's why I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go to real people. I'm gonna go to wherever the like East Coast gatherings. Just go there. Old school. I'm old school. I mean, even if I'm old school, iba yung kausap mo eh. Iba yung kainuman mo eh.
Yes.
Iba yung when you connect. Like when I went to California, I met Julius. I met and as much as possible, I went to Brother Darren's workshop. I met so much teachers there. I think Master Alex Garcia was there, if I remember. Marami din. So alam mo yon.
So Sachi,
what's your ultimate goal and vision?
Wait, bago mo sagutin yan, Sachi, just to for our American viewers, because Sachi mentioned.
Pero Tagalogin natin for American viewers, pero in Tagalog.
No, that's why I'm speaking in English. Yung the champions of the Philippines, which is a very decorated in one championship, MMA fighting, right? They're Team Lakay. Okay.
Yes, Team Lakay. Yes.
So I just want to make sure that kasi medyo ang one championship is not really well known yet dito sa America. So it's the most decorated fighters. Team Lakay of the Philippines is one championship, and I think, to be honest with you, I think landslide Fulayang just got the belt again.
Came back.
He won.
Yep, he won again.
Yeah.
So kudos for him. We're looking for you at the show, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know, right? I think we can probably
Yeah,
we can probably work on that. So goal ko ngayon, I don't see myself teaching it, but I want to network as much as possible because I want to spread the idea of Lightning first, and then because from what I see, because here, what I noticed, everyone goes to their separate tribes, right? But then when you go to the FMA gathering, they see Lightning and it's like, oh shit. They're like, you're breaking stakes and you're studying hard, and they said, I want to learn this too, even though you're from these different systems. So they nagkakaroon ng connection from there. I don't see myself teaching full time on a class yet. I don't know yet. That's why I cannot answer it yet, because I'm at the stage that I'm just gonna get Lightning known here in the States, that we are there's different systems of arnis, and that this is one of them. This is one of the line from a system from one of the great masters of Filipino martial arts. So you have representatives here that
Marami bang subgroup ang Lightning?
Yeah.
Maraming subgroup?
Ha?
Marami bang subgroup ang Lightning?
Hindi. Ibig sabihin dito kasi may mga iba-iba yung mga
Ibig
grupo
sabihin
dito.
ko ngayong marami bang silang iba-ibang organization o nasa
Dalawa lang.
Hindi naman, parang
Dalawa
dalawa lang, the main
dalawa
organization and then Lescas. But Lescas is not really separate. It was just Master Elmer, Ibanez, he was a professor in UP in human kinetics, if I'm not mistaken. So basically, dinagdagan niya ng human kinetics. So para siyang yung mga estudyante ni Tatang, he was actually the one who kind of broke down the system and had there's more explanation, kind of, alam mo yon, kasi importante yung role niya was very important, because as I said, Mang Ben doesn't talk, and they hindi naman sila marunong mag-breakdown you just have to follow, and then maybe you can ask the right question. So there Mang Elmer and his students, like one of their students is Professor Botocano, which is a professor of archaeology in the Philippines. They would map this out. We have professors, we have estudyante ni Mang Elmer, puro estudyante ng human kinetics doon.
Nanonood ba si Professor Bot? I don't know.
Tanong ko lang, Sachi, kilala mo si Nathan, si Babs Peneira, at saka si Tom?
Yes. I've met them. Well, I haven't met Master Nathan yet, but we've connected already online. So Babs, I met when the last time I went to Manila. So
here's the thing, for those that don't know in the FMA community, those three is like kind of like the premier people in the FMA community that's combining the study of human biomechanics, kinetics, how to generate like maximum joule volume on a strike.
Yes.
So
right now.
Yeah, man, like cutting edge research.
Yeah. So may mga our system now has studies, they put studies on it now, and not only human kinetics. Professor Rocano is a professor of archaeology, so the study of how humans interact and stuff like that. So yung history ng Lightning, and then Filipino martial arts, and how this came to be. Totoo ba sila Pulapo nga ba pumatay kay Magellan? Yung mga ganun, alam nila yung mga sagot na yun, di ba? So yung mga importante yung mga yun. So
kasi nag-evolve na nga talaga tayo kasi even not only in our knees, but other sports, they're doing kinetics now. I mean, they're researching that.
You have to.
You have to.
That's why.
Kasi maiiwanan ka ng ibang
yes, because when you go to the West, when you teach in the West, there's a different set of students here. The students here ask questions. I had to touch, like, why did you do this? If they're not satisfied with your answer, then
Manahimik
they're like,
ka, sumunod ka lang.
it's a totally different
Correct,
thing. So
correct.
you have to be able to be able to explain why you did that. And that's why when in the recent demo that I did, I explained like how we generate power from the tip of your foot all the way to the tip of the stick. Like it's all in there because because of the studies of my colleagues in human kinetics. I was like, okay, so this is a better way to explain it. So that's why we can really produce that power, because you have to understanding how to produce power. So a lot of systems, they only produce power from the arm, right? Some from the waist. Pero pag yung power mo can generate from the kick from the foot all the way to the body, the whole body. Iba yung buwelo nun, iba yung
June,
buwelo.
ano formula ng power?
Power,
he's-
kilikili power.
He leaned back, he knows it when I asked him the question.
No, but,
Kinetic, kinetic
that's,
change.
No, but you're right though. I mean, it's it all comes down to the footwork. People are, it's
Yeah.
not, footwork, either setting a foundation or understanding the movement and that torque talaga.
That's why I even though nag-attend lang ako ng mga fundamental workshop ni Grandmaster Bobby, but that is emphasized, the switching of the foot, because especially balintawak is it's a short distance, it's more of a quarto stance. So kailangan talaga yung body mechanics mo is very, very good to generate that power, because you don't have the vuelo like we do when we play Largo, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's really there. It's all about its impact weapon, so generating the maximum amount of power for your,
And they said, and then sometimes I would ask, why do you need all this power? They can feel the power. Like, why do you need the power if this supposedly this is blade? I was like, if I'm holding the blade and if I'm generating this power, I mean, if this hits you, it's gonna your hands is gonna cut. It's just gonna go.
Hindi, saka,
It's gonna separate from your body.
yeah.
saka makikita mo naman pag may power ka, nag-block sila. Pag malakas ang power mo, even if it's a blade, they're gonna move back.
Yeah.
That's
So
why
you
I
can
had to
you can produce
explain to
another
them.
shot.
I had to explain to them certain blocks. That's why first when I teach, I emphasize power first, because then when they understand that this is the power and the velocity that's coming through you, there are certain blocks that's not gonna stop that velocity. It's like a train; it doesn't have a brake on the rails. So, pag nag-block ka ng mga ganito, like just like this. This is gonna go through. If you block something like this, it's not. So when we block, we actually don't block power per power. Pinapalipas lang, because we understand we cannot block that power. We need to redirect that power, and we have to
zero.
Yeah, because you can't, because we understand it.
Time check lang. Sachi, padalawang oras na tayo, hindi pa natin napapag-usapan yung coding mo,
Sana
9/11,
tayo.
photography, wala pa.
Photography.
Ibang oras na ba?
Tell us about your photography. Transition
Bahala kayo. Ako kasi nagiinom ako kaya parang kalang kainuman ko kayo.
Uminom, may pasok pa ako bukas.
Okay, so we talked. So I mean, we delved into a little bit of the politics, the relationship.
You wanna touch
the
back on the
dreams,
politics,
the goals and stuff. You know,
you wanna touch back on the politics. How are you able to not get into politics there? Being
okay. So okay, we'll touch on that a little bit. So my father, before, although the Villareal is a political clan, my father, before he went into all of this, even if he was grown into this, he was actually a Buddhist monk. He actually escaped from the Philippines, much to the chagrin of his father, kasi next in line ka. So, but he didn't want any of it. My father was a searcher of knowledge and spirituality, and like he didn't find it in Christianity and how Catholic churches are teaching it in the Philippines. It's like, I need something deeper. I need something philosophical. So he met a Buddhist monk in Manila that just visited, and he said, wow, this is something that I can resonate with, and he said, then nag-usap sila, then he became friends with that monk, Tata Six. And the monk was nagstay sa Philippines. Filipino siya na monk, but he actually is training in Thailand. And he said, Tata, I want to go with you. And wala naman, siyempre, ay, di lolo ko, ay, hindi papayag, siyempre, di ba? Mong, ano yan? Alam mo yun, mga ganun. Dito ka, alam mo yun? So,
Simba na tayo.
siyempre, hindi pinayagan. And my father was like, he was studying law. This was before. So, and, the monk didn't have any money. He didn't have any money kasi hindi niya kakonsaba yung tatay niya. So, sabi ng teacher niya na monk, sabi niya, you're destined to be a monk. Sabi niya, I see that and I feel that something will happen. All right. Tumawag yung monk sa monastery sa Thailand. I have a student here who really wants to be a monk. We don't have a way to get there. We don't have the papers and stuff like that. So yung abbot, ganito nangyari. The abbot called the princess of Thailand. The princess of Thailand called them up and he said, "No, they come over here. I'll sponsor everything. You don't need papers." So this was the princess of Thailand who sponsored my father to go to Thailand to become a monk.
Wow.
And
That
syempre, galit na galit yung lolo ko. Galit na galit yung lolo ko. Kasi umas kapos siya eh.
Yeah.
So, galit na galit. To the point, because, politician.
Escapo means tumakas sa mga new generation.
Yeah, sa sobrang galit ng lolo ko, gusto niya talagang, sabihin na natin, gusto na niya ipatumba yung monk kasi he was, this was your son. So, yung story ng father ko was really almost the story of the Buddha na, in a way, the Buddha was destined to become a king. That his father didn't want him to be a priest. He wanted him to be a warrior king. But he didn't want any of that, so he escaped and he stayed in the mountains in Thailand he was ordained a monk for mga 2 years. Kasi at some point nagkasakit siya sa liver. So he had no choice. Baka mamatay siya may nagkasakit siya sa kidney and liver, so he had to go home. Siyempre pinatawad naman siya ng tatay niya, pina-hospital, actually what happened pala, sorry. My grandfather was Speaker of the House of Representatives. One of my uncles was ambassador. My lolo told I cannot speak to my son anymore. So his pinsan niya sa speaker kani, can you pick him up in Thailand? So they sent an ambassador to Thailand to tell my father, your dad wants you to go home. So yun yung mga politics yan. So basically, nagkasakit din siya. So siguro path naman yun, path, no? Kasi my father believed in na may path tayo. Ako kasi iba eh. Sa akin, my path is what I wanted to be. Siya naman, may alam na parang sa kanya, there is a destiny. There's a lot of things, sabi niya, that happened in my life that is not supposed to happen, but it happened. So I firmly believe in that. You cannot dissuade me. So basically, yun, umuwi siya. So umuwi siya, then na hospital siya, then so parang malala yung sakit niya. The doctors cannot figure out his kidney. The monk went home. And he actually, my father reached out to my mom, girlfriend niya dati, na parang Billy, baka mamatay na ako. I want to kind of like just connect with you. So nagka-close sila uli. Akala niya kasi mamatay na siya kasi the kidney was really bad. The monk, Tata Sex, knew about it, went home, brought herbs from Thailand. Noide, inumin mo to. Wag mo sabihin sa doktor, palaga mo sa girlfriend mo. Wag mo sabihin kahit painom mo to, inumin. Putay na, gumaling. Wow. So okay na, nakalabas. Tapos bumalik siya sa pagtuturo, public school teacher yung tatay ko. Talagang wala siya talagang hilig sa politics. Public school teacher siya. Nagtayo siya ng drama club for out of school youths para mag-perform sa mga towns para magkaroon sila ng donation para sa tuition nila, nagkaroon sila ng scholarship. So yun yung public servant siya talaga. Then one day, gusto ng lolo ko talaga sa law niya, but sabi niya sa tatay niya, like, I cannot do law anymore. I was, the last time I was in law school was 10 years ago. I have kids now. I cannot take the bar.
Yeah.
Sa pinersuade siya talaga. Kasi sabi niya, okay, I'm gonna do my best. After 10 years, I'm gonna promise, I'm gonna try my best to take the bar. Pass or not, don't bother me again. Puta, after 10 years,
Kumusta?
he passed the bar. He was legendary in that because not a lot of people can do that. 10 years after college, he passed the bar. So
Yeah.
the lawyer na siya, practicing na siya in law. And then his father was supposed to be the candidate for governor. Because Speaker Villareal, mataas yung line pa ng politics namin noon. They wanted his first cousin kasi close yung lolo ko with Speaker Villareal na gusto siya yung mag-governor. So namatay siya ng cancer. So there's my dad was called in to the family gathering and said, Noide, you're not yet ready for governor, but we want you to run for vice governor. I said, Tito, ano na alam ko dyan? Ano na alam ko dyan? Wala ako na, I'm a public school teacher. Yes, I'm like, I'm in law, I practicing lawyer, but wala akong mga pakilala kasi my father was an introvert. He doesn't, hang out with like, politicians and stuff like that. Ganun lang, sabi lang ng lolo ko, wag ka mag-alala, ako na bahala dyan. Ako na bahala sa'yo. Basically, long story short, he just woke up one day, he was already vice governor. Or however that happened. I cannot delve into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then
ganyan na type. But when he was vice governor, he really pushed on. He pushed the Arnis. That's when Arnis really got revitalized sa amin.
Is that how you got your name? Because Sachi in Japanese means child of joy. I said, is that how you got your name?
Yes, because they were practicing, spirituality. So part of Sachidananda is actually one of the line of their guru, Swami Sachidananda. He was actually Sachidananda was actually based in Ojai, California for a while, I think, or something. So yun naging dun ako pinangalan.
The Swami guy.
Yeah. Yeah. The one with the white beard.
Yeah.
So okay, so we touched on the politics.
No, it's better that we were able to you were able to get that name from that side of the culture other than the Aswang side of the culture. Kasi
Mang Ben was also was one of the, as I mentioned earlier, was one of the in-person bodyguards of Speaker Villareal. Kaya kaya yung Villareal sa Calema, kaya naging we're close then and stuff.
So let's transition a little bit. Let's talk about your photography. And what kind of photography? What was your specializations of photography?
Photography, a little bit. I'll touch on it a little bit. So nangyari, I came to the States 2000, and I was working with MetLife in the city for up to 2008. I saw the buildings collapse. I came into the office one day and I got off the train and was like, I was like, why are people running in the streets? People were running. It's just like, the building is burning. So tinignan ko, yung sunog na yung isa, and I think that if I remember correctly, nagsa-start na masunog yung pangalawa. And then, but I didn't know what happened. I didn't even read the news because I was late that day. I just, hopped on the train, didn't even bother to read the news. Then I came to the office, there was nobody there. And one of the guys said, go down the bunker, because the old buildings in New York, the basement were all bunkers.
Yeah.
So doon kami pinatago. Then nanood lang kami ng news, din yung pala nangyari. Kasi at that point, all they knew was the first building was just an accident. A small plane crashed into the old building, and it was thought to be an accident. It was the second one who was deadly.
Yeah.
So yun yung mga nakakatakot na, what am I gonna do now? I mean, is it gonna be World War III? I mean, in a matter of hours, there were jets all over Manhattan. And one of my colleagues was a naval submariner. He got a call, but I was close to him. Sabi niya, sabi ko sa kanya, it's like, what's happening? What's gonna happen? She said, stay here. He said, stay here. He was a Russian submariner, but he works in the Navy now. She said, stay here. But I was called because there's already a sub in the Hudson River that nobody knows. But sinabi lang niya sa akin. So, parang ganun sa ko, shit, parang gera na ba talaga to? May mga submarine na eh. Alam mo yun, nandun na, nakapaligid na yun sa Manhattan. Sinaran na may mga submarine na sa Manhattan eh. Because they didn't know what to expect, you know, they didn't know what the next strike would be, you know. So that was a crazy experience. So after that, you know, we know what happened, you know, from my experience, you know, I saw the horrors of we have to be evacuated from the island and you have to go to the ferry, and I was with these people na totally in shock, covered in ash, and me, I didn't know what to do. I just came into this country a couple of months, and I didn't know. I was like, am I going back, you know? So anyway, the world changed during that time, and the economy started going back, because then, you know, they went to war and stuff like that. So by 2008, pa-collapse na yung market. We were laid off in the hundreds. About like late 2008 na nag-collapse yung market. We were all laid off, and I was out of the job, and I cannot find the job because all the experts were out of the job. And I said, what else can I do?
Pareho tayo. I was working for Prudential at the time.
Yeah, so the only skills I had, well, it's either the arnis, no? Pero hindi pa ako nag-isip ng arnis nun. But I was already doing some sort of photography, but not like professionally. I said, you know what, pasukin ko na nga to as a business kasi I don't have a means of income, and then, you know, my wife is pregnant. So I started my photography mga 2009. I did all my research. You know, I'm not a businessman and everything, but this is what I'm thankful for this country, because this sort of opportunity you cannot do in the Philippines. Like, you know, you just think of like, I'm gonna go to business, you know, and then the next thing you know, you're in business and you can grow the business, you know, with just a little bit of money. That's what they say America's where dreams are made of, because I've experienced that. You know, my photography lasted more than 12 years. I mean, I'm still doing some of it. Medyo naglaylo lang ako. So now, maybe it as I said, you know, maybe it's opening up. That's why the artist is coming back again, because now, you know, naglaylo na ako sa photography content. Now I went back to corporate. I was able to go back to corporate as a business analyst now. I'm an analyst. So mas may time na ako ngayon. So, and you know, I felt the calling, and I felt the, you know, I really feel that my grandfather needs to be represented here and his system. So parang, okay, maybe the time is right. It just felt right.
So
Everyone's here. Ryan is here. All my brothers here in Lightning, they're all also committed to one goal. Just like, hey, let's spread Mang Ben's art. So walang politics. Everyone is just pitching in. Yeah, so parang si Brother Carlo, when I went to Brother Darren, said, I don't care. I'm gonna pay for my own ticket. I'm gonna go with you. So you can, you know, we can have a nice demo together. Alam mo yan? I mean, I forked my own money to go there, and my hotel and everything, but it was all for my grandfather, you know.
So let's to kind of like because we're going on time here. Yung to kind of wrap up. You know, now that we're kind of spreading on Lightning, and you know, kind of really kind of introducing it across the US, how, if people are kind of interested to kind of learn more, how do you suggest them reaching out either to you, or is it more reaching out to certain
they can, you know, if since I'm gonna be I'm like the face of Lightning right now, they can, you know, my name is here on Facebook. You know, I'm really thankful for the three of you for this opportunity, of course. To get the name out there. You can contact me, and you know, maybe I'll do what my grandfather did. You know, I don't need a school. Maybe I'll do a few private students, you know, like really train them really well, that kind of thing. Really interested students, that kind of thing. So I'm then, you know, if if you're in a certain state, maybe I can redirect you to a certain teacher in that state, well, something like this.
And if somebody runs into this interview, tapos interesado sa Lightning, definitely pwede naman reach, send us a message at
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
for
like-
anybody na gustong ma-reach ka, they can also contact us and we'll refer you to them.
Thank you so much. And Julius can vouch for me because we've met in person. Because ako kasi, again, John, June also, si Paul na lang talaga kailangan kong i-meet.
Yeah.
Kasi na-interested ako.
Kung makapunta
Na-interested ako nung kay Paul, nung una pa lang, nung nakita ko yung demo niya sa Karate Garahe, magic distance. Uy, okay to Hindi ko alam yun
Magic sa Karate Garahe. Yeah, shout out to those guys.
Shout out to those guys.
Any last final thoughts, comments before?
For me, I just wanted to use this time to thank everyone for chiming in and joining us tonight. I'm thankful for June, Paul, and Julius, of course, for giving me a time to present, my story, my journey, and my contribution to Filipino martial arts. I am looking forward to contributing more. I am looking forward to meeting more people, and also the art. I mean, what we have built in this past few years, there is a momentum, and I am open to teaching whoever it is, or even just if you have a question regarding it, or Mang Ben, I can you can always chat with me. But yeah, thank you so much for everyone who has aided me on this journey. Maraming salamat po.
May part 2 siguro to.
Yeah,
For sure, may part 2 to.
People,
mahaba pa. Ang Halloween natin, meron pa tayo.
People, anything to add, people, before I pass it on to Julius?
Yeah, I'll speak in English, then Tagalog. Basically, that's the reason why we have this show. I mean, I didn't even know that Sachi is a Busconian. So that alone tells you that the show is what it's all about. Knowing the person. We're not into trying to get techniques from him. We want to know who he is as a person.
Not yet. Just kidding.
Always willing to share.
Diba? So, sa mga nanonood sa Pilipinas, sana po ay meron kayong nakita at na medyo bago kung bakit ganito ang nangyayari sa amin kaming nasa Amerika, kung bakit kami ganito magturo, at iba ang kung paano kami namin ipakita sa mga Amerikano ang pagtuturo. Kaso kung sa Pilipinas, syempre kung meron pa diyan mga grandmaster na mga matatanda na makikita nyo, puntahan nyo. Matuto kayong habang buhay pa. Kasi sayang.
Tama.
Sayang.
Yes.
So,
right.
That's
Julius?
basically it.
JV?
For the Philams, so much kasi alam ito ng mga Pilipino eh. Mga Philams, eat lapas bacho and molo, y'all.
Eat and hit.
Yeah. All right.
Yun lang eh.
All right. Well, I guess that's gonna be a wrap. Sachi, Maestro Sachi.
Part 2. Thank you.
Halloween special. Halloween
Yeah,
special, y'all.
Halloween special. Yes,
Halloween
Halloween
special.
special.
And
From
everybody,
copies.
for next week, we're gonna have a special cooking episode for next week on Thursday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's gonna be 8 p.m. on Friday morning.
No, it's still the same time in the Philippines. That
No,
time
it's
change.
8 p.m. It's 8 p.m. on Thursday. That's right.
Yeah.
Same day.
So,
Yes.
yeah. So
that's gonna be next week, Thursday, everybody.
And then
Thursday.
look forward next month. If you guys were a fan of funny comics growing up in the Philippines, kung mahilig kayo ng Planet of the Apes, si Combatron.
Yeah.
Combatron,
Watch out.
We
Watch
have
All right.
we have Combatron in the show next December.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. I'm gonna end the live here, and we will see you all. See you all next time.
Next week.
All right. Have a good one. Hold on. Let me see.
Hold on. Wag ka muna aalis, Sachi.
Okay. May part 2 na ba?